start looking for bank loans, start looking for circle loans.
So hi guys,
I don't think going to the US, to the UK will save
if you're not
you
able
that
to
money.
join us on TikTok, I've just remembered that I have a family here that could benefit from what we are discussing on TikTok.
And for your family.
We've been live on TikTok for the last, I think, 1 hour, and we've discussed so many things that I just remembered about you people. So there's this issue of, because we have retrogression right now,
and the funny thing about
let me
those
reduce
loans
this
is you're
volume
able to
first.
pay the whole amount.
Because we have retrogression currently, which has affected Africa in terms of nurses who are trying to migrate from Kenya to USA. Is it worth the wait, or we just move to other countries? And the discussion is live right now on TikTok. So let's listen to what they're saying. And maybe you can type in your questions. If you don't understand Kiswahili, if you're there and you're watching and you don't understand Kiswahili,
all the tenses of kugonga are. So those are things that you want to discuss. Are you going to leave your family? How safe is your family? Stuff like that. But you going to the UK to look for money, na wanakuambia ukifika huko lazima ulipe bills zako, and then you're trying to save, it will give you more stress than the reason why you went there in the first place.
Hi. Kabla sijapata agenda vizuri, but nimeelewa kidogo part ya Elizabeth. Being a person mwenye niko UK, and just being honest na Elizabeth, if the end goal is to go to the US...
Are you guys able to hear what they're saying? That's live on TikTok. If you can hear, please type down below. If you can't, we end the live.
Especially if una struggle na finances. One, ukikuja, let's say, it will take you a long time kupata kazi if hujaanza process. And if umeanza process ya US, I would advise you endelee na process ya US, because you will waste more money coming to the UK, and you, from what Atiana explained, you need more money ya kufanya vitu zingine za kwenda US. So for me, if you are in the process ya kwenda US, just stick to that process at this moment. If you are single, vile Martha amesema ama Atiana amesema, it makes sense to risk that. But if you've got family, utakuwa tu na mental breakdown ya bure. That's what mimi naweza kuambia.
What I would say from my own experience, because I've gone through it, from the UK to the US, ukiwa na family, Elizabeth, mi sikudanganyi, I thought I would go to the UK and have a silver platter, move in the 6 months. Trust me, nilikuwa UK 2.5 years. Because ukikuja na watoto UK, be sure you need around 15,000 pounds to save ndo move to the US, which is, it's very hard, it's very difficult, it's mentally draining. And then ukileta watoto UK, remember the culture in the UK is not the Kenyan culture. It's very hard for them to adapt, and then we transition tena wapeleke US. I would tell you, kama unaweza pata, the way unaambiwa story alone and everything, it's not worth. But at the end of the day, the decision comes back to you. When do utajua, do you want to have the stress or you want to go the easier route?
Elizabeth, what do you have to say?
Even to me, okay, I've listened to each and everyone's advice. And for those who are like me, I think when pick up, it's too strenuous to move to another country before na kama ushamaliza process kama mimi mwenye nishafanya already NCLEX, it is a bit costly. Number one. Number two, mentally, pia itakupatia mental instability. So the idea ya kuchukua loan, if someone is capable, to me, I think I'm capable ya kuchukua loan from the bank ama from the circle, and then to me, you are capable ya kuchukua loan, let's wait. And thank you guys for the advice. It was well taken.
And Elizabeth, you can also decide just to abort the mission of coming to the US and you go to the UK. She's okay.
Yeah, but she's coming to the US.
The UK and they're doing already in a transition.
Martha, si wewe unakuja ama?
Kukuja kwangu sio kusema watu wasikuje UK.
Hapana, Lilian amesema ati awachane na mambo ya US kabisa, which I do not agree.
Carol, just listen to me. I said another option. The first option, I was the first one to advise her. Watu walikuwa hapo mwanzo mlinisikia nikamwambia just stop that thing of going to UK. Si nilimwambia hivyo the first thing. Before kama and then I've been quiet, I've been listening to you mpaka nimefika home. Ndio namwambia kama kuna pia an option is not only in US that you can make it in life. Anywhere else you can do it.
Na pia jue ardhi ya UK ni inakuanga na score za juu si kama ya US.
Ni watu chapchapini tukidigest hiyo maneno ya Lilia. Ni ngapi?
Okay, Lily, maybe I can't abort the mission ya kuja US because it has been my dream. And when I nilifika katikati nikakuwa confused. I was thinking like I should go to another country to kutafuta do nini, but I've taken your advice well.
Wewe pambana tu na hiyo process yako ya US penye umefika. Go save some money, take loans as you've been advised. Ngoja tu retrogression iishe. I think wacha tuiachie. But also your advice Lilian is not of course. If you want to abort, you can abort and look into coming into the UK.
Sawa, so
This is my.million. Siko na jina poa.
Member, bora isikue Kenya, bora tusikue ati unakaa Kenya. You can move anywhere else you want to go.
Kemi, hebu
Hey guys, it's morning here. I think but one thing I want to say and insist on, there's one thing Atina Alisema, after you do NCLEX and the things are not moving. I was there, I thought of going to the US, especially since yet after COVID. Mind you, I waited for 14 months to get an embassy date after NCLEX. That is like a long time. Baka unasahau. I thought of going to the UK because the UK visas were ready and I was just this close to going to the UK. But when I looked at everything, settling in a new country is a new demon that people don't talk about enough. It is like pesa. It's still emotionally, mentally, it's still a taxing thing to do. Like you have to move to a new country and settle. It is a lot. It is very daunting. You don't want to take yourself through the same process twice in a year or 3 times in a year. So if you can wait in Kenya, please do wait in Kenya. Please do wait. We were there post NCLEX to memaliza NCLEX then COVID. You guys are dealing with retrogression, we dealt with COVID, and things were not moving, and UK was calling. And for people who had scores coming, my ISO scores were really good. I thought about moving so many times, so many times. But then to settle in a new country, it's a lot. It takes money. After Elizabeth, your pesa kidogo and you go now, it will take you around even 50,000 to settle in the UK. It's a new country. You need kwenda na pesa ya kukula, you need kwenda na pesa ya kununua hata kama sabuni ya kuoga. You know, exhaust your options. Retrogression itaisha, nurses are still needed. That's a small hold. And then just move here once and for all. Yeah. it's not worth it, especially now that you've moved. Na hizi marshals zenye nini UK imeanza kuwekea African countries, it's allowed to deal with. I'm glad you're already almost here. So just hang in there. We were all there. People like Lillian wanaweza waambia kina nani, we were all there desperate. Hiyo desperation, and then ukishafanya NCLEX kuna kitu inakufanyanga unafeel kama you are not even a Kenyan citizen. Yani Kenya inakataa kukalika. So just hang in there. It's gonna be fine.
So guys, you've heard all the advices that you've received from all these nurses who are not in Kenya, who have undergone the process yenye muna undergo saa hii. So stop a lot of anxiety, kuwa patient. Kila kitu itakuja kwa meza. Mwenzanako anauliza how would you tell uzuri wa UK na US? Anauliza.
But we are telling you. We are here telling you, we're in the US telling you.
Hamuulizi, anamwambia aende ndio atuambie uzuri ama ubaya.
No, we don't have to put another person under the job just for the sake of an example. We already have enough people telling us. We have Pounds, we have Mata. We have these people saying, hey, it's not worth it now. So if you say that when and you tuambie, it will override the reason why we are having this forum. The reason why we are having
Exactly.
It's like me telling you, this is what is going on in Houston, and then you say, okay, wacha tutume huyo mtu pia akuje Houston pia yajione. That's a very stupid mentality. If someone tells you that something is not good at this moment, and then you hear it from 2-3 people, why do you want to put yourself on the same scale? The reason why we're having these forums is to educate us on what is already there, because one of us is already here.
Yeah, exactly.
Lazima uende kikurambe ndio uamini Kenya watu wanakuambia. Mimi I don't buy that mentality. This forum I don't think kuna mtu anasikilianga mwingine wivu. I will not tell you don't come to, over time I've spoken about, especially hata hapa majuu, I've spoken about Texas. I've said Texas is beautiful. Right now jua imewaka inakaa Mombasa, but there is no money. So it is crazy for someone to say, okay, wacha niende nijione hiyo pesa yenye hakuna. Like really? Okay, kuja basi tutateseka wote.
Kemi, hata ukisema hakuna pesa, kila mtu anasema tu hiyo Texas ndio tunataka kuenda. So we just give the advice, and then we don't make the decisions for people. We put the information out there, mtu afanye decisions akiwa informed.
But then this
11 of you guys who are watching, if you can type in your questions, then I'll ask for you. Or if you can join the TikTok side, then that's fine.
Chopping board. Just sometimes just listen and have that faith that I don't think anyone, all these people here, I've known them from different lives. They pour information out left, right, and center. I don't think anyone is trying to mislead you. But we all know that the US is much better than all these other countries for some reasons. It's not the perfect place to be. We still struggle with parenting here. We struggle with so many things that could probably be better in other countries or probably better back home. Like parenting back home is so easy. Parenting in the US is a demon on its own. But we still say US is the best place to be because now the benefits outweighs all those other cons that we see.
Kemi, kuna mtu anasema ati Texas has money. That is such a huge misinformation.
Now you see. Sasa mtu kama huyu mahali yuko, akona nini? Anakula pesa. Mimi what I know, the general GPD what it says, Texas does not pay than other states. Kuna pesa, of course, that's why we're here. But then when you compare it to other states or what you intentionally want to earn, then this is not the place. So we have what we call outliers. There are people in Texas earning up to $90 because probably they do private jobs, private nursing, maybe they take care of dignitaries, home care. We cannot use those people to conclude what the whole population earns because this is the information you can even find on Google. comparisons. And we all know that the reason why people are moving from Texas and back and forth to the North States is because we all know that that's not like a debatable thing. That's a personal experience thing, and that is also information that is very disposable online. So, yeah, we can't use outliers to determine what the whole population is earning. So,
Yeah,
everything is very debatable. Anything you throw on, it can be debated.
Nasnisi anasema you don't need 6K pounds to settle in the UK, which I agree. You don't need that much actually. It was very easy settling in the UK for me, especially that tulichukuliwa na NHS. They had a good reception all the way from the airport. They come for you. They take you to your place where you will stay. They pay for your rent for like 2 to 3 months. They paid for our rent, and then they paid for our OSCE training. They paid for our flights to go to Belfast, that is Northern Ireland, to do our OSCEs. We did our OSCEs. The ones who passed. The ones who did not pass, they had to pay for their own OSCE for a receipt. And then one thing that they don't tell about the UK, ukifika huko, you are a band 4. It's like you're not a fully registered UKRN until you do your OSCE. So before you do your OSCE, you get paid less. Ukishapata your PIN, then you get paid as a UKRN. But the settling part was the easiest because kulikuwa na smooth transition as the NHS in a cater for everything. They have the international recruitment team and all those people. So I think I did. And they even buy some groceries for you that will take you for around 2 weeks. I remember tukiwa Kenya, they will send you this list, Excel, wakikwambia you pick the groceries that you will need for the first 2 weeks, and then they will buy. Ukifika kwa the dining area, they have all the groceries there for you. You just pick what you want, and then it will sustain you for like 2 weeks. So the settling in was, it was very easy.
Kuna swali. Na Nisi ametuambia you don't need that money to settle in UK. Hajauliza with how many kids, what like number of family you have. And then amekuja akasema things have become hard. Even getting a job is hard. Are we not contradicting ourselves?
Okay.
Okay.
I think Carol, wacha niongee kidogo. I think tunajicontradict hapa. The thing is, kupata job imekuwa ngumu. That is a fact. Not as in for those countries that have got that wamewekwa kwa list, imekuwa ngumu kupata job. But those countries like the Asian countries, it's not difficult to get jobs because they go through agencies. NHS is still employing. That is one thing tunafaa tujue. It has not stopped employing. The only thing that has come into place is the changes in the amount of money or the pay that you are required to bring in your dependents. That is another thing yenye people wanafaa waangalie wakitaka kukuja. But in terms of settling to the UK, if you're being like, they tell you exactly what they are going to support you with before ukuje. So they will tell you tutakupatia nyumba for 2 weeks, not for 2 months. Then support like tutakulipia OSCE, tutakufanyia all those things zenye watakufanyia. They will be clearly written on the offer letter yenye utapatiwa. But when it comes to matters of settling with your family or bringing it at your own expense, and depends with how big your family is. Visas dependence in terms of letter dependent, it's just 289 pounds. It's not really that bad. But housing, you need to get the right house because ukienda kwa agency watakuuliza how many kids do you have. if you've got a boy and a girl, they will still ask you for 2 bedrooms because they won't allow a boy and a girl to stay in the same room. So those are some of the things that you want to waangalie, and that is where the expense is okay, but it won't go up to 6,000. That is way too much. I hope nimesaidia.
Tunafaa kuleta nurse huku juu.
Yeah, wacha ni drop upandishe nini si. Thank you. Wacha ni drop mimi. Ni drop pia mimi. Tawasikiza from the comment section. Wewe unabaki hapo. Haya sawa basi. Thank you Chen.
Please tuma request yako. Or let me try to find you hapa kwa accept.
Sasa tena anaenda wapi? I will drop after this conversation at Arudi.
Okay, Nasli is coming there. Nasli, mambo?
Poa sana.
How are you?
Right.
Tracy alikuwa ananawa mkono.
Ati nini?
Karibu sana.
Asante.
You're in the UK?
Yes, I'm in the UK, but I was just trying to differ with the 6K. That's okay. Anyway, it depends. Sitasema hautaspend 6K, but depends on mtu vile anataka kutransition. Kama mtu ako na familia watu watano anataka kuwabeba akikuja the same time, maybe you could spend that. But most of the people, what you do, you just come first, then bring in your family. So ukikuja, because remember unakuja kazi, au kuja kutafuta kazi as a nurse. So the moment you land here, depending on your contract, maybe employer anakuambia you will be refunded some things like Hyatt and stuff like that. So you don't come to spend the money you spend, maybe accommodation, and some maybe for a month employer atakuwa amekutafutia share and accommodation and stuff like that. So what most people do, you come first, get your first salary, look for a house, then move your family. By that I don't mean what wakuja UK. I'm in the UK, going to 5 years now. It's not as bad. And when I say it's become lipwi hama pesa imeenda chini, it's just that kupata job siku hizi ni ngumu. Agency pia wameacha kuemploy, so that's the hard bit of it. But we are surviving, we are here. That does not mean we don't want to go to the US. We know we are always looking for something greener pastures. So I'll say mtu aketi chini kwanza aone kama uko na familia kubwa transition and you have already done NCLEX like this lady was saying ameshafanya NCLEX. I would wait kama niko na familia kubwa. Kama niko peke yangu, I will, if I get a job then I will move and transition again. It doesn't matter. Watu wengi wamekuja huku na waka transition UK, US. Yeah, you just get used to the culture and the change that comes with moving. But what I wanted to dispute is kuambia watu msikuje mtahitaji 6K kusettle. It depends. Kama unataka kumove na familia at the same time, yeah, you need a lot of money. But if you want to come first, then bring the family. It's not that much. It's not that much. I wouldn't really discourage mtu asikuje if you want to. But if you can wait, to be honest, just wait. UK tunasemanga ni pocket change, but inatusaidia. It's not like being in Kenya. So that's my input.
Yeah, that is true. That is true, Nisi. UK si mbaya sana vile. But if you already done your NCLEX, now uko na family, heri tu baki ufuate the process. But kama wewe ni mtu solo, you haven't started the process, especially now that UK don't hitaji any experience. They take newly licensed nurses. Kama umemaliza your college, your NCK, umepata your license, and you are looking for a job in Kenya, I would still think that UK is a good stepping stone, especially if you are lucky to get a job. Because hata kama tuko amber listed or red listed, whichever it is, people are still going to the UK. Nigeria, Ghana, they've been red listed for the longest time possible, and me nimekaa huko for the 2.5 years. We were amber listed, but the people who were coming to the UK, wengi, they were still from the West Africa countries, the one that were red listed, as compared to sisi when you took amber list. Mtu anasema tuko amber list, tutafuti kazi. Like they still find kichochoro ya kufika. So if you have not started and you don't have a job, umemaliza tu shule and you still want to move, UK is still a good stepping stone for you. And then you can still do your NCLEX from the UK, you can still do your US Embassy interview from the UK, and then you will move to the US.
Alafu naweza penda huyo mtu alisema 6K atuelezee mbona alichezea figure. Who said 6K?
I think the 6K came in. I think what she had in mind, maybe she will also tell us that she had in mind you're moving with the family there and then. Depending on the size of your family, if you're carrying on your family along, you move UK, you want to transition with the family that time. Probably if it's a big family, you could. Because if you talk of accommodation, you need a big house, you paying the house, rent and upfront 1 month, then kuna do ya transport, air ticket, those things. It could total to that. Maybe that's what she had in mind, probably atatuambia.
Sawa, Nasnis.
Yeah.
Na one.
Sorry?
Do you have intentions of leaving the UK to the US?
It's a tricky one. Obviously, we are.
I'm asking you that because we've had Carol was in the UK. Right now, she's in the US. We have Mother, who has already stated that she has intentions for moving to the US. Now, you and one, because you're already in the UK, do you have intentions of moving forward?
On an honest opinion, I'm considering it. If I get a good deal in the US, I'll move. To be honest, yeah.
I also have an advice.
Sitakaa chini nidanganya once. It also depends ni nini mtu anataka. Kuna watu wanakuja hapa, unaona hapa maisha hapa ni mzuri. Si kila mtu ana chase pesa, lakini kama una chase pesa, to be honest,
but it also depends on like the word deal. It is about money and jobs. The US workforce is structured in a very, very different way. Like who prices in a jar, and you don't really necessarily need to have a job from the UK when you move here, depending on which route you use again. But you can good jobs, different resources here, so if something you're thinking of doing, this time will not really because I don't think you will.
Alafu mimi naweza ambia watu wa UK wenye wanaconsider kumove, kama umekaa huko like 3 years, get your citizen first and then you can move.
I think kupata citizenship UK takes you, if you use the healthcare visa, it takes you 10 years, if I'm not wrong, pounds.
I wanted to talk about.
No. It's it's not citizenship. It's 6 years. You get PR after 5 years, then after 1 year you get the citizenship. So what sisi tumekaa nearly 5 years.
Yeah, you can get it.
Actually, by the time your retrogression iisha, si umepata.
Yeah.
So you process as you wait.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Come for almost.
Yeah, so
We can hear from Paul Duan.
swali ilikuwa kama nafikiria kuhama. Yeah, to be honest, I have thought about it. Friends who have encouraged me to move. I'm still thinking about it. Okay, money. Wait, I'm talking to somebody. Okay? Sorry. So, nafikiria kumove. The only challenge yenye niko nayo, and maybe I need this forum for one year. I've been in the mental health world for 7 years now. And Nico General trained, like in a train in Kenya, but I just don't know how it would adapt to the general side of nursing. So that is my only fear. But
Sounds ukiingia kwa mental health to kama what do you?
No, nimekuwa like since ni qualify nilikuwa na practice mental health ikiwa
Leo nimeshinda kwa mental health kidogo. Tutaenda
You can still come and fight that automatically. Dependent that you can even upgrade to become site MP. That's not our choice. You never like it, but you can automatically put a come and do that.
Yes, most of the time, these agencies they will take you when you've been working. Kama umebook kwa mental hospitals, you are going to a mental unit.
Kuna mtu anasema ati
NCLEX ikupatie shida.
Just say your feet.
NCLEX is everywhere.
not even about it. It's just about like you end up working ukifika US.
Kwa mental health side, kwanza huko ndio kuna mazimu, kuna addiction, kuna everything.
Yeah, nitatafuta mtu mmoja nielezee maneno in another forum.
No, Bond.
Yeah.
This is the best forum.
No, Alpha is okay to choose to get more information from a different forum.
No. It's not a different forum. I'm just thinking like we were more discussing about something else. So if we want to switch into that discussion, I'm very much okay because it's more of like guidance. Nikipata hapa, I'm still fine with it because I thought kulikuwa na agenda fulani kulikuwa inaongelewa before nilete hii yangu hapo.
Alafu Pounds, abu tu kidogo, kuna kelele iko hapa kwa comment section. Guys, abu angalieni tu comment section penye kinaendelea. There's someone alikuja akisema if you are lazy or if you are not working hard, you cannot get money. We have been working hard in Kenya and we didn't get any money. So, usianze kusema working hard or lazy. It's nothing like that. Alafu not paying.
acha apanda atuambie.
Tumefanya kazi huko Kenya ni kama nini na hatukuwa tuna earn hiyo pesa. Then you come and tell us if you're not working hard you won't get.
Pia Lilian kuna base rate because sasa mimi nime earn both in pounds and in dollars. Like in UK pesa nilikuwa nalipwa in a month. Nilitengeneza hapa in 2 weeks more than what I was getting in per month huko UK, and without
you were lazy in the UK, Carol.
I wasn't lazy. Like
that's what I'm trying to say, Carol.
Yeah, I'm supporting your point.
It's nothing like laziness.
Yeah, kazi tulichapa UK na pesa iingie ile inafaa kuingia.
Unaona huyo sinki sana. Mwingine akashikilia akasema huku you do 3 to 4. You must do 3 actually. If you're doing 12 hours, you must do 3 to get to your 40 hours. Which is if you're doing 3 to 4 hours, what do you mean? Alafu, do you want to stay in the house for 4 days? What will you be doing in the house for 4 days?
Kwanza sisi tunafanya hizo 3 na tunapoka kwingine tunafanya 2 because America ni work tu. Hakuna ushago na ile kuona tosho.
Umekuja you come here ni umaskini umekuleta. So ukiambia watu ati we are not telling, we have always been telling people we pick up shifts.
Background beauty is different. What is background?
We pick up shifts. That ukichoka kufikiria this is a lot of money I'm going to miss. Let me go for it. Endelea Paul.
I want to mention something. Kuna mtu huyu akona they're really like writing ill about like the UK, the wages depressing, all that crap. And hiyo yenye pia Lilian ameguzia kusema ati you're saying people are lazy. People are not lazy. Let me tell you, people are not lazy. Every nurse I know, especially kwanza wenye najua kwa hii platform, people are working really, really, really hard. Others are doing 2 to 3 jobs, just to pay bills, send those black tax home. Well, see ati Alpha, excuse me, Nani, Alpha block him, Shana. Tafadhali, I don't know the man of, please block her. Now, who you sorry? Can you just block this person? We cannot be up here trying to talk positively and encouraging our own. We are talking to nurses, Lila. If you're not in the healthcare system, then it doesn't concern you.
Our part of healthcare is cut. So, Lila ko which field? Because anasema healthcare care and healthcare pathway is cursed.
It is work in the healthcare industry. Na kama wewe umekuja UK or US na umeenda na another profession, yay for you. We are happy for you. We are really happy for you. Why did you even send a request to someone like that? Everything we are talking, she's busy negating it on the comment section. Yeah, just what to drop. What can you drop to Bande? What can drop to Bande?
Kuna space came in.
Alpha, I have to drop ndio nikuwe moderator. Nirudi ndio siwezi kuwa moderator nikiwa hapo. I have to drop fast.
Hi, someone else is saying,
Sham block.
Alpha. So, yeah. Let me mention this. Those who are talking ill about UK wages, wewe mwenyewe uko Kenya. Do you have a place yenye wewe mwenyewe umeenda? Wewe umejisaidia na nini na hiyo pesa yenye unalipo Kenya? So people stop talking ill about a place that you're not yet there or you've not been. Hiyo pesa kidogo hiyo yenye unaandika, I saw them giving huyo anasema 25 euros per hour I rent. Hiyo 25 euros, do the conversion into Kenyan money. Nani atalipa hiyo pesa Kenya? Is there a hospital that will pay you that amount of money, or is there somewhere you go to work ulipo hiyo pesa? Zile vitu zenye nimeweza kujifanyia mimi mwenyewe and my family while in the UK ni vitu, I kid you not, hata ningekuwa hiyo Kenya for those past 5 years zenye nasema I've lived in the UK, singekuwa probably hata nimemanage half or even quarter pesa kidogo. I'm not disputing that. I cannot compare UK na US. Of course, there's a big much difference. We cannot compare the two. But tunaongelea penye mtu wako, niko UK, uko Dubai, uko what is it helping you with?
Na tunasema kama mtu ako na point ama na contradict, atume request kumpandisha hapa atuelezee, not coming huku kwa conversation.
Aggressive, abusive of the comment section. I don't think they will already block you yet.
It's better even to have few people wenye mko positive minded than watu wakuja kuwa ridicule hapo. If you have a point, just erase, kuja hapa tuongea, tusikize, tusaidiane. Hiyo ni kusaidiana basi.
True. Si kila mtu lazima akuwe na, hatusemi kila mtu akuwe na in hapa. They are nurses. Yes.
For nurses. And we are talking nursing.
Exactly.
If you're not a nurse, just go, move to the...
Na pia tusikae ni kama tuna discourage watu sana kukuja UK.
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
It's a nice place.
Yeah, UK na US. And there are people making a lot of money here, even in the UK. As long as umekuja transition, umesettle, you start working agency, you get money. Let's not lie.
Hata si UK. Hii story tumeanzia mpaka na kule nini. Qatar. Tukaambia go somewhere. We started it from far. Mtu anaingia unapata watu wanaongea place fulani anaanza kuendelea mambo yake.
Lilian, unajua mtu umempea airtime sana. Lilian, wacheni kumpea airtime. Sasa amefurahia venye mlikuwa mnataka. Achaneni na yeye, we continue. We were moving on so well until you started dwelling on the negatives.
I have a question.
you guys were saying we don't dwell on the negatives na mshaanza kudwell na yeye. Tuendelee.
Yeah, so talking of the dual citizenship, now that mtu amekaa maybe 6 years UK, amepata citizenship ya UK, and yeye ni citizen wa Kenya, akikuja US pia atakuwa citizen. Like you can only be a citizen to 2 countries. Sasa ni gani ndio utawasha ya Kenya?
Unaacha ya Kenya because you're Kenyan by birth. That will always be your right.
You'll always be a Kenyan citizen.
You'll always be a Kenyan citizen.
And then muulize huyu mtu wa Canada anaitwango nani?
David.
Huyu mtu wa Canada mwenye anatakaka kuwa president na anashindwa Kenya. Kuingia akadipotiwa.
Miguna.
Ulizeni yeye. Si alidipotiwa?
That is how it works. You can only get 2.
Yeah, you can only get 2. So there cannot be 3. Yeah.
Yeah, Kenya, you are a Kenyan citizen by birth. Hakuna venye hiyo itawahi change. The only thing that you will not have is the Kenyan passport.
Okay, so you'll be getting visa to go to Kenya.
So utakuwa unachukua hiyo entry visa ya kuingia. It's not a lot of money. Huwezi nyimwa au hata wazungu wenye wanaenda kuvisit hawanyimu, unanyimwa mbona? Because even the Americans who go to visit, they apply for the same. I have a friend who was going to visit, na passport ya mtoto yake ya Kenya haikuwa imetoka. She had to pay for the baby hiyo visa ya kuingia kwa sababu passport haijatoka.
Yeah, a baby is born in the UK when applying visa ndio before.
Yes, so utawahi nyimwa visa ya kuingia Kenya. There Al-Shabaab or anything, hautanyimwa visa. So for me, mtu mwenye amekaa UK, if you're heading, umemaliza 3, keep going, finish your 5 years, get your PR, do your 1 year, get your citizenship. Retrogression bado iko, you're still progressing with the process. When you get to the US, utakuwa unatumia sasa ya Kenya na ya UK. Ukimaliza miaka 5 US, then you apply for the US citizenship. Unaforgo ya Kenya, unabaki na ya UK na US. If that is something that you wish, because maybe kuna mtu unafikiria, maybe nitairudi UK. So at least if you keep the UK in hand, then inakupatia hiyo opportunity, like ukirudi utarudi tu bado ukiwa citizen. Utarudi uanze square zero like everybody else. Also, that UK passport itakusaidia in terms of traveling in those years kama kabla ushike ya US. If you want to go especially to Europe countries, it will be easy for you to travel around. That would be my opinion though.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. Kuna watu wanakuja US wanaona they cannot cope here compared to life when walikuwa wamezoea ukiwa comfortable UK. Some people move back. So yeah, I think ukiwa na passport or ukiwa na citizenship, that will give you extra points.
Kuna mtu amesema me too, I pay visa to Kenya. So yeah, you can just pay for that. Kuna mtu anauliza if they were being advised, this is off the topic, they were being advised to marry before they come to the US. It's funny how bad is the situation in the US. With my situation, let me see if this is a guy. Everybody is advised of that. Dating abroad is not easy. That one we will not lie to you people. Dating abroad, hata Kenya peke yake umesikia.
I'm finding it hard kupandisha tena. Can you try sending a request? Ama Kemi from your end unaweza mpandisha? Jaribu utume request tena.
Maybe we'll advise you if you have already a partner mwenye mko in a serious relationship, yes, you are being advised mkuje tu kama umeoana. But of course, if you're single and you're not seeing someone, you're not in a serious relationship, utaenda tu kwa mtu for the sake of it kwani. You can't do that. You just go ahead and then if you meet your person penye utakutana na yeye. Dating abroad is not easy, let me tell you. Si rahisi kwa sababu hao watu wanaogopa kama sasa UK. Let me talk from the UK experience. Hizi vitu za sexual harassment. Unaona pale Kenya ati mwanaume amekukujia tu ovyo ovyo
encounter hivi tu. It's so easy for me to turn around and report this person and niseme this person is sexually harassing me. Honestly. So they fear those things. Kama wanaume approach tu hivi ovyo, they fear. And that's why dating is so hard. Also, some of them bado wako na ile tuite ignorance ya race. Kuna wenye wako, they still live in that, in that part, in their mind bado wanaishi in that part in their brain. So dating mtu mweusi, kuna pale unaendanga unatembea unakuta tu wamekuzubailia wanakuangalia. And these are things that are beyond you. There's nothing you can do about it. Because it's in a depend. Kama you're living in a more white-dominated environment, watu wengi wenye utakuwa unakutana nao, when you bump into them, work, supermarket, anywhere, ni watu weupe. So your dating scene, sasa utakuwa na a very big pool ya kusema tunatafuta mtu mweusi. Unless uingie kwa dating app na kabisa you really, you have a purpose. Unatafuta hiyo mtu mweusi.
Unatupatia moderation na utatupatia hata hizo dini za
I'm not a moderator. I don't have rights to professor.
No, Kemi, you have to go down and come back again for you.
No, I went down and come back and I can do nothing.
Okay, so I'm not going.
What else?
Ulicheki hizo vitu?
I did, and I can still redo them again.
Ama sijui kwa nini atiana sijaribu pia utumie story.
I think ayuko karibu na simu or something kama.
Oh, ama maybe ayuko.
But then we should be able to see the request.
Because me she
already has the request. She already has the request. Akikuja karibu na simu ataiona tu imeninia but she's driving.
Oh, kama ako na request basi ni wewe ujetupatie hizo powers za kufanya hivyo tu. We are not seeing.
Amesema she's driving, so maybe that's why she can't chokora simu.
But kama ana drive na si ana text.
Anataka drive, I got tracking ukidrive ndio hizo.
Maybe she's using a voice command.
They never know.
Think ukiongea ukidrive is easier than
Hata jaribu kutext. Ukiangalia chini simu gari iko kwa bush.
kwa mtaro. Inasueleka.
Yeah, Tracy, you're right. These people, they can't even saying hello. But anakuja kusalimia nani huyu, utaenda useme huko mtu sijui amenifanyia. They take those cases very seriously. I don't know about the US, but in the UK they take them so serious. And sometimes umefanya hata hivi kazi, unataka ni ya kudate, umechoka. Is it 12-hour shift si joke? Hata umejichokea. On your day off unafikiria tu kulala, hata ufikiri maneno mingi.
Maybe soulmate wako ni Filipino, kujeni tu wenye uko hivi.
Ni ukweli. Si lazima akuwe mwenye ako huko Kenya.
Wa Filipino wanakwanga rengo ingine. Ya alphabets.
Ana request sana acha tusikie anasema nini. Maybe you can hear what she has to say. Karibu.
Thank you. I think Neil and two story, the lady who was a bit negative, well, like, don't really have to give her that airtime. Sometimes si lazima upatie mtu airtime ndo afeel make point. Sometimes you just ignore. Anyway, I am a nurse in the UK.
Do you have so many nurses in the UK talking to us?
Karibu
Tell me about the UK now.
Motivate wakuje UK.
And kuna mtu kwa comment section anauliza for the newly graduated nurses, what's the process of coming to the UK?
Well, currently it's a bit more of privately sponsored kind of thing. They still take fresh graduates, but getting a job is quite technical these days. Since the bilateral agreements, I think it was 2021 with the former president, things really became hard because agencies are not allowed to recruit for the UK. Like personally, I was with an agency that time, and I just received a regret that we're sorry, we cannot continue with this process for you because of blah blah blah. So I came to the UK as a private candidate. I did the whole process on my own, and it takes a lot of courage really to apply, because in a day I had a target of 15 to 25 applications, even if it meant reapplying for the same job and actually going to specific hospital websites, other than applying on these other general websites like Track, Indeed, and the like. So usually I tell people, especially those who are just about to graduate or looking into doing their final exams, if you could start studying for your English exam just before you do your licensing, because nursing is nursing and nothing will be changing when you take the exams. This is my opinion though. And then as you're waiting for your NCK certificates, for those in Kenya, you can have your IELTS done. So the process is the same, just NCK verification, application to NMC, and having your documents verified as well. CBT, the computer-based exam, it's not hard. It's just like the MCQs we did in uni. So usually it's not a big deal because it's just nursing application questions. So it's just the same process, only that they removed the agency part of it, and then even companies hiring from Kenya right now, because it's Amber List. I'm not sure if we moved to Red List because they said staffing back home is not up to WHO standards. I stand to be corrected though, so they cannot be sending people over. But people still come. I've had several friends who've moved to the UK within the last 6 months, and they did it as private candidates, but it takes courage. And you just have to be relentless in applying and not giving up really, because if you give up at 500 job applications, then I don't think the dream is worth it. So that's just a nutshell of UK.
You're very right. Like people, I have friends who are still going to the UK even now, but some people will just sit and say, the jobs are hard to find, you can never go there anymore, we are red listed, but people are still going to the UK every day, and they were relentless in applying. Like you apply up to 1,000 job applications, like that is a full-time job. Like in applying for jobs and attending interviews, you just have to be very, very resilient, just know what you want, and make your CV stand out, because there are very, very many applicants. You are competing against people from Pakistan, from India, from everywhere in the world. They are trying, especially Indians, you know, the UK is difficult for them to go there, because the retrogression now, I think it go very, very far. They are kukuja US, so they can only go to countries kama UK or Australia. So very, very many of them are going there. Sasa wewe uki-apply moja ama your CV doesn't stand out, the employers will not even get back to you. So make sure your CV is internationally curated. Like get someone to do the CV for you, or do the CV for you according to the international standards. And then you need a lot of patience, and talk to people who are doing the same things. Get to WhatsApp groups of people going to the UK, people applying to go to the UK. Like there's so many WhatsApp groups for Kenyan nurses going there, or Kenyan nurses who are there already. Get the advice from people who have done the process. Like be proactive. Don't just sit in your room and say that there is no jobs, or we are red listed or amber listed, whatever we are. Like get out there, like do something.
Actually, even the opening statement on your cover letter, actually that's your selling point for the UK. And I've had friends who did their NCLEX way before me, and they've come to the UK, they're doing second or third year, I think because of the retrogression or something. So it's really about what you want. And actually, just moving out and having that international nursing experience really helps you as well moving forward, because I believe for those who are in the US may bear me witness, especially those who have been in the UK, I don't think there will be so much of a difference in the way of doing things over there as compared to someone who's coming directly from Kenya. And the adaptation, I don't think it will be that technical as well. So it's actually about what you really want and where you want your career to go. Like what are your career goals, 5 years, 10 years, or whatever time limits you've given yourself. So it's really about resilience, knowing exactly what you want, laying down your goals and having your sub goals and following them up and make sure they're timely.
Yeah, you are very right. Like once you've been in the UK, transitioning to come to the US is very easy. Like most of the things are the same. You can't compare yourself like when you were coming as fresh from Kenya and when you're coming back from the UK to the US. Like there is a huge difference. You already know the cultures. You already know what to expect. Like it is very, very easy to transition. So it does play a part.
Like we asked Pound One and Nasnis whether they have intentions of leaving the UK for the US. And Aren, do you have the same intentions? You know, we are doing
actually I'm NCLEX ready. I did my NCLEX in London, and I'll not lie to you, I actually did not study much for NCLEX. I was just exploring. I wanted to know exactly what is it that people say is very hard about NCLEX. But my experience with NCLEX, I did up to 150 questions. Remember, I wasn't going to pass, by the way. I was going to experience NCLEX because everyone says NCLEX is not a walk in the park. And in my humble opinion, you just have to, one, concentrate and believe in yourself and just read between the lines. I actually studied for my NCLEX then for less than 6 weeks. I had it booked, and then still when I was I was in the train, I was asking myself, am I really ready to do this? Am I ready to go and get myself busted? Yes, Lillian, I did 150 out of 150 with Colorado Board of Nursing. And by the time I left London for Nottingham, I already had my, that thingy from the Colorado Board of Nursing. Within 3 hours, I had my results. And it was really shocking. I've had people who said they had theirs within an hour or something. 150 is the maximum. I did up to 150. So at some point, I felt like just exiting. But I said, let me see what the next question has to bring. Because I remember someone said, I can't remember how many previously before the new NCLEX, how many the questions used to be.
When I did mine, it used to be 365. There's a time when it used to be 365, yeah.
Yeah, so someone as well from my former school said she did up to the last question, and it was still, I think, with Colorado, and she had a pass. So for me, I would say things are quite different when you do your NCLEX, having that international nursing experience, because it's mostly application questions. It's mostly what we do in the wards here that will come there. So I wasn't going to take NCLEX to pass. I was going to get that experience because people had been coming to my inbox and saying, and you know, I've done my NCLEX. This is the third time I'm going to do it. I don't think it's worth it. So I wanted to see exactly what is hard about NCLEX. And because people will come to your DM and they have questions here and there, but you cannot advise from something you don't have experience with. So the state of your mind as well when you're taking an exam. I usually say don't go to an exam with a failure mentality because you're going to fail. Don't. Remember, you're in uni for 5, 6, 7 years. For those who specialize at some point, you've been in uni, you've been practicing for all this time. Nursing is nursing. It does not change. It's only a few aspects of care and elements of care delivery that are adjusted to befit patients' need. So when it comes to the questions, I also saw with the UK exams, it's application questions. How best are you able to bring it down to care from books? So yeah, it's doable. I did my NCLEX while here. And I was actually chatting with Lillian the other day. I was like, I'm not really sure I want to go to the US. I wanted to do the NCLEX and get an experience. And she's like, then you're missing a lot. So yeah, that's my experience with NCLEX, really.
Congratulations, Anne, on passing your NCLEX. Karibu sana to the USRN community.
Thank you.
Teaching, you have been up here. You had a question, Ama, you have an input.
Sorry. The UK, and I just wanted to talk about the voluntary positions because Kenyan girls who came, they came as volunteers. Personally, I came to do my master's, then I got my work visa. So they volunteer for 1 year, and after 1 year, you're given the work visa. So the issue of people saying, there's no more coming to the UK, like there are ways of coming to the UK. I've been posting 2 guys who came through Navy, and if they tell you their application process, you'll be so amazed. But you see, people try and people keep on applying until it's your day and the bell rings and here you are, So let's keep motivating each other because there are more opportunities. When you volunteer, you're paid like £200 per month. You're given accommodation and food, you're given experience, and when you finish, you don't pay anything, just given the visa. So the visa is like 5 years. After 5 years, you're well settled and you can do anything you want. So yeah, let's keep pushing and the more doors, But always you talk to people, you're not gonna get this information because people got information and they don't even share. That's my input for today.
Yeah, thanks. I think it's the information bit for me. We don't seem to share information, and for those that share that information, then probably it's just pocketed by the recipients because the goal is trying to help another person. Like if you're able to give a hand to another person, then you actually have that ripple effect of the change that you would like to see, and actually it comes back to you in so many different ways. Like I didn't know about the volunteer I've known today. So I think it's just about lack of information or misinformation because I will have information about how I did the process, and that is the only thing I can give. Somebody else has different information. So I think coming together and being in a position to share out this information is very vital. So I'm honestly grateful for such forums, to be honest.
There's someone asking about the volunteer link. I don't know if it's a link on a website. If you could hit here about my company, our the forward links are easy, but they're gonna if you did not open the link, and the people wanted to bring the link. And people were link here how I apply. You're just like, I don't have CV, help me. I don't want to go to the site, but surely if you got the link, go for it, apply, and be persistent because today our company has got like 200 in the world. So if you don't come to the UK, you might go to Wales. It's like different places, So once they open, I don't know if I'll let people know, but yeah, I always open in live and at least I inform people. But that's the easiest way to come. Because after 1 year, you're two, but after that, you got your visa, the 5-year visa, and that's it.
Nyateach. What is the name of the company then?
Pumpkin. You might type it below.
Ebu type.
Anaitwa Nyatichi. Alafu Nyatichi niko na swali. When you're volunteering, are you allowed to bring your family members?
No, once you not that the rules change. The rules change so much. Previously, those who were volunteer in the volunteering and they got the papers, they went back and got their the care visa allowed them by then, but now you're not allowed to. They take like up to 24, so after 24, because they want people who can relate with people with young people with learning disabilities. So I think they feel like these young people really blend in and wanaweza vumilia hiyo 1 year na hiyo 200 pounds, you know. Well, 200 pounds. Yeah, because you're given accommodation, you're given food. Every weekend when we go out, because we take the residents out, you're given some money to spend. So, and you are on rota like other workers, so you do 40 hours a week. But looking further, you know where you are heading to. Because your 200 pounds, what I mean, you in Kenya, you got to get a job that will for your 200 pounds. Accommodation here is so expensive. You already have accommodation sorted. You have food. You go to the workshops. You learn different things every day. Yeah, no trouble. Sometimes you only need so I don't know, but you're sure after our visa, you know the visa without hours. Sure, you've got hours, so you're gonna recover back. You got a family to settle in, like how could you put a second? Who could you doctor right? The people willing to hold your hand, the people willing to teach you how to, you know. So these opportunities, the volunteer opportunities for population across, not just nurses. It's for everybody, for nurses, they too. Yeah. They are not nurses. Okay, let's be placed for nurses. Okay, thank you so much. Welcome.
Unajua sengine tunabashingi watu na hawako hapa kujitetea. Please leo wamejitetea.
Yeah, kuna hii topic tulikuwa tumeanza kuongelea kabla fulani alete siasa hapa. Nilikuwa mnaniambia kuhusu mental health nursing. So, process ni aje mwenye anaweza nielezea vizuri?
NCLEX is the same whether you want to be an OR, ICU, whatever. NCLEX is the same, and then once you do your NCLEX, and I believe you're doing the process on your own. It means so once you're done with the process, you look for a mental health hospital or as if talking mental health, behavioral health,
correctional site, whatever it's really the best. You can dance from site to correction to behavioral. It's approach.
Yeah. So when you're applying, come in hospitality, you're applying. When you're applying for a position as a mental health nurse. I went to massage the general. But the NCLEX is the same for everyone. It does not matter which branch of nursing you're doing. NCLEX is the same, and you only do it once in your lifetime.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, then you could jump about, you get for your mental health, you work as a site nurse, you can develop interest, you may want to be a provider, so you go back to school and do your master's and become a nurse practitioner. That means you get the right to prescribe, diagnose, and do better assessment on your patient, so which is higher paying, actually one of the highest paying specialty in America. So mental health is a good field. That is your passion. That's a field that you go with passion, not just for the money. So come for it. The pathway is very, very clear, and it's one of the things that people enjoy. It's at the back end of nursing, really less stressful as compared from what I hear people say. So very good.
Kemi, do agencies recruit directly as mental health nurses ama watataka ukuje kama med-surg alafu you change departments?
So most agencies will take you to where you're already working. Because when I came here, people were working in ICU, they still went to the ICU. People were working in the OR back home, they still went to the OR. We never had a mental health nurse, but I assume or actually through a direct hire to come take you to where you want to be. And most of them, mostly they will tell you, we don't have that position right now. Will you take this? Kuna agencies zitakwambia we don't have maybe an opening in mental health. Do you mind going to med-surg? Right to say yes or no.
you want to come and try med-surg and then transition after the end of the contract. But no, keep on looking. There are agencies that will take you. Like agency, they were taking people where they were supposed to work away from home. So they didn't need to change specialty.
On top of that, a lot of nurses when you wamefanyiwa interview na agencies kama critical care, there are a lot of them hapa kwa comment section. An example is nurse by the name Sharon. Sharon amefanyiwa interview na agency kama critical care. So such a person, you don't expect her to go and work in the medical surgical. The agency told her watamtafutia tu nafasi.
It depends on the hospital you're going to, Alpha Bruno. Alpha, it depends on the hospital that you're going to. Some in Kenya, some of the units we call ICU are equivalent to a step-down unit here. So there will some Kenyan nurses will go directly to an ICU, but some you will not go into an ICU unit. You'll go to a step-down first.
Yeah, some of them will go to IMU, which is really bad on a higher actually because the patients that we send from ICU to IMU, they are still critical. Some of them are on the ICU after a few days. Yeah, so you can actually, I usually tell people, if you come from Kenya and you don't get to go into ICU and you are in an IMU, that's a good place. It's less stressful, it gives you time to learn. And after 2 years, request to go up. Because ICU is just a step higher. If you still feel you even want to be bedside, then you can go back into ICU. Really, most of the time when these agencies are offering you that position, I'll say take it because the stress of going into a new specialty, especially higher actually it's a lot.
Yeah, especially our ICUs in Kenya do not directly translate to the ICUs here. At UK compare the ICU in the UK and the ICU here. Like talking from experience, nilikuja nikawekwa Kemi, you know this CV ICU? Niliona stars. Yeah. Yani you go there, unaangalia mgonjwa patient akona pulmonary catheter, the one that they Swan's gas catheters, the ones that they used to they have this wakona arterial lines, wakona hiyo balloon pumps, wanafanyiwa ECMO, wanafanyiwa CRT, like patient akona wires and tubes everywhere.
Yeah, nilikuwa niseme ati like I have never had a nurse coming from Kenya ICU going direct to USA ICU. Unless
it is even if they allow you, it's going to be really, really stressful.
Yeah, so you got the step down unit.
Which is really to your advantage. Even if nimekuwa nurse for nini saidi kwa ICU, to putting my ass left, right and center. Not because I'm stupid, I'm a fast learner actually. But because it's just like a whole demon, man. It's different, the speed is different, everything, the devices are all new, they're so different. So you can come to IMU settle kwanza, because you're stressed here. ICU from Kenya to ICU and then settling and then you're in out.
People in her group, they walikuwa na mtu alienda ICU. Which agency are you with today?
Lilian, kuna watu wanaenda, it depends on the state and the hospital. Kuna hospitali, tuseme tu kweli, even here in the UK, in the US, unaweza pelekwa Mbagathi, ama upelekwe Mama Lucy, ama upelekwe Kenyatta. Ukipelekwa Kenyatta, it's out, you will not get to ICU ya Kenyatta, but ukipelekwa Mama Lucy kwenye ni level ya chini, na ukipelekwa ICU, you are able to go to.
Tuseme tu kweli, niko trauma 1, hata inalemea wale watu wenye wako na experience ya ICUs in America for a long time because it's trauma 1. Like ukitoka kwa low level acute ICU, level 4, level 3.
These agencies take us to trauma 1 hospitals. Ama?
Hapana, mimi si trauma 3.
Trauma 3.
No, ours ni trauma 1. Kuleta watu every day. Maybe ndio maana wanakuja step down, I don't know.
Step down ya trauma 1 ni kama ICU ya trauma.
Yeah, that's why mimi niko na idea of niki float huko, what I see is like you don't want to start from there.
Trauma ni the best of the best. Ni kama the hospital ama the kind. But you see, even here in the US, kuna zile hospitali kama in Nairobi, acha tuseme kuna Gurunana, hospitali ndio ziko za juu lakini si za juu sana. And then from Gurunana kuna kina Nairobi West. You know, it just depends on which hospital you come to. Like my hospital system, kuna wale nurses wa vantu wako hiyo hawako hata trauma 1, wako trauma 2. But bado hawako ICU. So it really just depends on which hospital you land into in the US. But there's an advanced nurse mwenye alikuja Texas na aliingia ICU. Quit within a few months. Alisema kama mwezi mpeleka kwingine. And we're not saying it's not possible. You cannot do it. We're saying it is so stressful if you have other issues like
Guys, nimechoka kukaa hapa kama sinema na niko na assignments nafanya. So you go and watch from TikTok. I can see the 13 of us who are here. Unless you have a question that I can answer, but you can either follow me on TikTok, then it will show you where I'm popping live, like where I'm seated there. The 13 of you who are here, I wanted you to listen to that discussion because it's normally very important. Like I told you before, if you find people on live, just keep on swiping and see what feeds your soul and what you feel is good for you. That has been a discussion that has been ongoing for the last almost 3 hours, and it was very helpful. We've had nurses from all over nurses from Kenya, from Australia, from Canada, from US, from UK, people giving different views, and you've heard for yourself that if you're a nurse graduate, you've just finished your nursing or you're about to do your exams, you can try, and you don't have a family, you can try out going to different countries as you wait for you to come here. So I thought these things are important for you to, before you make up your decision, because the US journey normally takes long. We said we are fighting poverty, but we are not fighting against each other. Na tukasema any information that I feel it's important for you guys to know, nawaletea. That's why I was here. Sishangae mbona nakaa hivi kama nini. Na siongei. I wanted you guys to listen up. But so if you have a TikTok, you can follow me and then see where I am live. You will find people discussing. We are very many there. But if you don't have a TikTok, type there ndo niwaachie hapa mkisikiza. If you guys don't have a TikTok, kama mna TikTok, maybe you can type down there. Juu nataka kumaliza assignments zangu mimi. We are 10. Si muniandikieko comment hapo ya muniambie kama tuwache hapa ama tuende huko. Tafadhalini. Unaona hapo vile wana tap tap na hapa hatutap tap. Nataka kufanya assignments. Mimi ni mwanafunzi. I'm waiting for your comments. Wacha niweke msikize kwanza.
MCI in the US, I think anataka some more information. IMC, sorry.
IMC is step down in New York to
immediate care. It's ni escalation from the words na ICU step down.
When nilikuona huko hata.
The patient is not
Kama HDU Kenya. Step down IMC ni kama HDU.
Sisi sasa tukae wapi? Kuna wenye wana TikTok.
It also depends. Unaona kama sasa hospitali yetu. I work in a university teaching hospital. IMC yetu ni kama very sick patient intubated. Kitu tu hawana ni hiyo intubation. They are running on all those
active drips,
yeah. Between the floor and the ICU, that's what I mean. Ni hapo katikati.
I don't know how to share the live link on YouTube. So the only thing then
kuna places kwenye
then
pia
to leave it
nini
like
inaitwa
you
aje?
listen from here,
Una step down
JN.
ya IMC. Like before
Let me
urudi
just
kwa
leave it
ward,
then.
like my hospital,
You
unatoka
listen
from
from here.
ICU to IMC to PCU and then to the ward. So
I don't know
before
how I'm
ufike
going to
kwa
do it
ward
for you.
umepitia mara vitu tatu.
So sisi bado unaweza toka ICU na uingie kwa ward ama unaweza pitia IMC, depends venye umekuja, venye umerecover. Like mostly hawa
I
watu
don't know how to
wanakuja
share the
na
live on
DKA wanakujanga tu wakisha nini huko wanakuja kwa floor.
Kuna mtu ameulizia about renal nursing in the US. Kuna mtu akona input. And then tap tusidropiwe. Nilishikwa na
Mnasikia hapo wana tap na hapo mnakuja na mwezi tap pia, lakini esi nimejua kama niko kwa TV wezi ni tap pia.
Hospital so reset your goal.
Oh my goodness. But guys, if you don't have TikTok, you don't LC. There are some people who know like TikTok to be just a place for matusi and all that. Kama wanafunga TikTok next year, yeah, especially this one for US. So many people will miss out. So please take advantage and listen to what those people are saying there. It's very important, by the way. Like me, there are so many things I've learned there. Zile vitu nimeandika, there are so many. You just go there with a pen and a paper, or maybe if you can record, you record what they are saying. Because mtu amekuja hapa kuongea story kama hizi, aogopi hata akirekodo. It's something that anasema ya kukusaidia. Do not be a gatekeeper. Kenya diploma to BSN in USA to include household. Jude, I already talked about that. And I've written for you a message. Kindly make a YouTube video ya Kenya diploma to BSN in USA. Umesikia nikisema nafanya assignments because I'm a student right now. I came with a diploma in nursing, but a critical care higher diploma. And I'm currently doing my BSN in University of Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon, whatever it's called. It doesn't take long as you have your passport stampiwa umekuja hapa na inaonekana wewe ushaingia hapa like you're already here. So you identify a university like I've typed up there. Ama si kukujibu. You identify a university, then you apply. The chancellors, when those people will respond to you, they'll show you ama they'll guide you on how to apply for that grants. Like me, I got out of 13,000, I got 9,000 as grants. That is the money that I'll not need to pay back. But then again, because the total tuition fee was about 13,000, they gave me a student loan of the balance, 13 minus 9, the balance, which I will pay 6 months after my graduation. Jude, I've answered you, and that question I've said it before. So for those who cannot watch on TikTok, wacha basi niwaachie hapa nikae kama sinema.
They do consider the experience as compared to the higher diploma training, right?
Nikaa hapa kando mimi nifanye assignment zangu.
Niachie na
Mute. Kemi, you can mute her. You have all the rights.
The last time I checked, nimeona so mnipatia rights. So kuna watu wanasema wako na diploma in renal nursing. Don't just have a diploma because they're not even working in a cancer center. They're not doing chemos and all that. Don't just hire people. Have experience. Because if this person, if the agency is bringing you to work in a renal unit, they're going to question you about a few things about your experience in these renal patients, about how to do dialysis and all those kind of stuff. So if you have a diploma and you have experience, then come as a renal nurse. Let your agency where you will be. But if you just have a diploma, you've not had an experience, mention it to your recruiter and say, hey, I am. Do you think you can actually bring me on and train me? They will train you. Usually it takes almost 12 weeks. They will train you. And America, after even they train you, there's always support. Sure you're good to do the job. So renal nursing is one of the back-end sides of nursing. Very chilled. Like on a pesa mzuri. That's what you want to do. It's better one class at a time, 2 class, and it's standard class.
Kama ni Avanti na kurecruit ujue itakwambia go look for that experience. They won't take you and train you. They'll tell you go and look for that.
Right now, kuja tu na experience. But kama una experience, kuja tu as a regular nurse, ingia pale research, chapa kazi yako, and then always request. Every hospital iko na policies. After 6 months, you can always request. Hata ukiwa kwa contract, I've seen people wakiwa kwa contract request transferred to other specialties. Usually, one thing I love about America, people will always try to give you what you want most of the time. So, kuja sema mimi, I did some education on renal nursing. Do you think I can get a slot in renal in dialysis unit? And you can always transition. I've seen a few people transition. Yeah. But sometimes you might not get what you want straight from the airport. You might come for ground ufanya kazi kidogo. Na unaweza ingia kwa ground upate hata kuna kitu kingine better. Maybe you want to go cath is another thing, back is another thing. So usikuje kama umejifunga, kuje ukiwa open minded. Unaweza angukia kitu kingine better than ona to enjoy. There are so many people I know walikuwa wanakuja wanasema I want to go to the OR. I want to go to the OR. 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line, they're falling in love with something else. And they are doing better. Kuja tu kama umefungua macho na masikio.
Someone is asking, Tuanauliza kama US employer take you through free trainings that we do in the UK. Maybe for those who've been in the UK, it will be ideal to shed some light.
So in the UK, kuna some competencies as RN that you're not supposed to do until you signed off. So I don't know if that's what the comments are asking. Siko sure what are they really asking, because if they are the because as ukiwa UK, even you're doing IV cannulation, you cannot cannulate until you are deemed as competent. Like Wameku, you have observed a certain number of the cannulations, and you've done independently you've gone for the training, and then you've done maybe around 5 cannulations and observations, and then now you signed off on the procedure. Is that what they are asking? Because if that's the case, that's not what's happening in the US. Hakuna vitu kama hizo. As a RN, you just hata huku, most in my hospital, I can speak for my hospital, we have an IV team. You can, as a RN, you can do the IV or you can call the IV team. It can go either way, but there is no competencies to get signed off on.
You cannot even
do catheterization now. Yeah, but if you haven't been signed off on the competency, you're not allowed to do it. And if you do it, you can even be struck off the NMC register for doing a procedure without being competent.
Signed off, yeah.
Talking from my end with the Avant, there is kuna vitu wanakupatia kwa folder. A lot of things during your orientation, you must try and ufanye hizo IV cannulations ziko hapo ndani. Like most of the procedures ziko hapo ndani, you witness, you did what, and then kuna studies online ziko hapo, you take umai observe which percentage are you. Inaitwaje yako kakitu. Hiyo watu unafanyanga ukiwa Kenya ukikujanga.
The e-learning. Become a WCE.
No, that is the e-learning, but in the UK you have to attend a practical class. Yeah, I cannulation,
US kuna vitu kama hizo, vitu kama test tube, you must be checked off. We call them check off. Na kuna vitu kama cannulation, hiyo ni preceptor wako. When you start on the floor the first day, preceptor wako atakuwa anaangalia. Can you do an IV? Hizi vitu ndogo ndogo.
But you don't attend a class that you wanakuonyesha vile wanaweka ID.
Kuna vitu za kucheko, vitu kama chest tubes.
Classes zilikuwa Florida mpaka ya kuweka kanula kuchange dressing ya nini ya kanula ya
I think it depends with the agency, but it's not like universal. Kama UK it's universal for the NHS.
I would say
even if you
I would say it's universal.
No, it's not. It's not. It depends. It depends on the hospital. It depends on the agency. Like for me, I didn't have those things.
Which are just
can you just take care of a chest tube bila kwenda class na mahali uko?
Yeah, I have even on my day one of job. See, inside here,
I think maybe
education na makwali.
Like You have your preceptor with you, and then you have like online classes. You have online lessons. No, but I'm telling you, in the UK, there are physical classes that are mandatory.
Ni venye tu UK ni kama sasa wanataka wafanye vitu kama Kenya.
Yeah, like it is universal.
Again, the fact that you have to do it under the preceptor, that's still a preceptor check-off. That's one-on-one check-off. That's one-on-one check-off.
Yeah, so I was answering the guys on the comment section. They were asking about the US and the UK. I would say the US is more relaxed. The UK is like it's strict. Like it is very strict. You can even lose your license if you do something that you've not been signed off on.
Sasa kunaendaga kusainiwa hizi procedures ni mingi sana.
Unapewa kitabu like you're given a band 5. Unaona kama ile ya CPD logbook. Yeah, you're given like something like a logbook with the procedures that you need to be signed off on.
Experience. Niliaka hivi tatu hata sijajua kujiintroduce kwa mgonjwa.
Sindio nakwambia sasa UK na US is very very different. UK utaona mtu akiweka IV mara karibu 5 lakini wewe huwezi weka. Wewe ukiweka utaweka once but you cannot unless you've been checked off. Wewe utaona
Do you know my reality can put IV without a inaitwa nini bed finder?
Hata useme hata ufanye nini you cannot.
Ninyi mnaongelea kuweka IV. The other day nilienda disciplinary kwa sababu niliana nurse kupeana medication.
Yeah, exactly. I am telling these guys like UK is very very strict on these things.
I nearly went to NMC and all that, but kwa sababu manager aliamua tu kufikiria chini nikaachiliwa.
You are risking your own license. Hata niko na orientee na mimi nimefanya kitu wrong, mimi ndio orientee niko na preceptor and I have a license, I'm risking my own, not my preceptors.
Yeah, you're on your own. Sometimes you'll go to work but you feel like you're just giving someone your license to play with and decide, will I take it away or not? Will she go home with it or not?
Unafujue hapa it's very strict hapa na wanafuata every little thing. So msisema iko relaxed.
If you compare it to
UK, wanataka pursue kidogo hivi tu.
Like me hosi yenye nilikuja they respected that tuko na experience. So my first day nimeenda na preceptor wangu kwa room. Asubuhi tumepewa report the first day. Line imetoka. Ameleta hapo. Mimi nishaweka line na nikasema unataka ya pili nikamtuandika line ya pili. Only to hear that mgonjwa ameshika kuweka line sasa hiyo anangoja nini. So you see the fact that niliweka line ikaingia, nobody cared. They respected the fact that niko na experience and nobody really cared kuniambia okay, haujaona line ikiwekwa hapa ni shoot kuweka jinsi kanila zinafanana tu. They let me kama body niliakanga tu phone. You know, hakuna mtu aliambia eti utuacha ni yake uone kwanza ndio nikucheck off ama kwanza ende uweke kwa ndani ndio nikucheck off. Mimi niliweka mafoli, niliweka my line mingi hata before hata nifunze how to produce myself.
Sasa hapo ndio difference ya UK na US came. Wewe ungekuwa UK ungekuwa manager kila siku.
Ungekuwa nirudishwe Kenya manager.
Wewe ulikuwa pin yako ingekuwa ishaenda.
In fact hata ukihama kutoka kwa hospitali moja uende kwa hospitali nyingine, they don't recognize training yako ya hiyo hospitali nyingine. You train afresh.
Imagine and the same NHS, so they start you from
UK ni maua.
Mbona UK hiyo pesa yake imachi hizo mashida wanaweka
kidogo na hizo shida zote.
Mbona tu the paid not the same as the problem.
Lakini ni vizuri just get paid na ufanye hizo kazi. Kwanza watu wanafurahia sana not being checked off. Hata wana delay. Ndio wanakuwa wanaitana.
Haraka nisonge.
Mimi wewe mwenye kazi yako imeisha haraka ndio utakuwa unaitwa. Mimi kama niko kwa shift na niko checked off peke yangu, nitaweka foli zote kwa hiyo ward, nitaweka IV zote. Wewe utataka kukua hivyo, unataka kukua most resourceful. Like you
kufuatilia mtu anifanyie kazi yangu.
Kenya iko better. Because Kenya pia ukiwa na license, they already yani washajua you are a nurse, you are a qualified nurse. That time unapewa your nursing council license. Same na US, once you umeshika tu your license ni shauri yako. Shida zako zinaanzia saa zile license iko jina yako tu hapo.
The problem here hapa, it's more of people talk about covering their backs. So it's not about okay, si kuhusu kugonjwa sana. I wouldn't like sitaki kuweka hivyo, but it's more about how you cover your back. So wanakupeleka training, wahakikishe uko sawa, wakusign off, then you are on your own. Ukifanya kitu like hospitali inasema
How many months are you going to take for that training?
It depends on you na opportunity tutapata. Kama unit yako waweki hivi sana, utapata wapi ya kusign off. Kama waweki folid sana, utapata wapi. It depends on the unit you are.
Sasa zile folid zote tulienda KMTC kwa what?
Hiyo ni zero. Acha imagine even the UK registered nurses when you graduate huko, they did wakiwa shule, but when they graduate, wanapewa the same book.
Waanze kusaini hata ni afadhali si kwenda.
Ya Britain ziko wapi? Haiko pale. What do you mean then?
Ukigraduate umesonga kidogo, unafaa kurudisha.
Mimi
si kwenda huko mingeka siwiki.
Lillian, recently there's a lady who left the UK for the US. I'm not sure kama amemaliza 6 months. So she came to a certain nurses group we have here, and she just pasted it as it is as her experience here in the US. And all of a sudden, everybody is doing CGFNS process.
Yeah, because hapa bora uko na license yako, you do ufanya chenye utataka. Ukikosea wewe unaenda direct kwa jela. It's you and your license.
Imagine mimi nimemove 3 months ago, I moved to a new hospital system kabisa, and I'm being accepted. Mr. Dauma ananiuliza vitu kama Foley IUV. Hiyo anajua nimeweka, hata akuangia anakuja anapata hiyo line na iko sawa, nishaweka ingine ni straight cut nimefanya. Zile vitu sasa nafaa kujifunza kama za ICU. Hapo ndio tunapatana. Zile vitu najua kufanya, kuweka mafoli, kutoa nini hai. Hizo nafanya mbio. Anakuja anafanya
mtu afanye CGFNS wa good.
Because like why should you train me up in a nurse for 8 years? Sasa phone umesema urethra iko pale. Sasa kazi gani?
Tafuta nani anataka kuwekewa foli ndio uende
utoe. Sterility. Kucreate sterile field yangu na kuweka ile foli.
Imagine even in the whole unit, kama unit ni ndogo, you can find hakuna mtu amekuwa trained on something, maybe male catheterization. So unajua vile wazungu kucatheterize mambo yao ya male inakuwa a bit iko ngumu kidogo vitu za wazungu. So utapata unit hata charge na hata yeye mwenyewe hajatrainiwa on male catheterization, yeye ndio anapiga simu unit nyingine aulize ati kuna mtu mwenye ako male catheterized trained akuja aweke police kwa unit yenu. So unakaa unajiambia tu mimi na experience yangu
kuweka hiyo foli.
But you are not allowed to.
Mimi naweza nyuma mpaka nipake kubali kwangu niende. Juu ni kama nimefungwa mikono man.
Yes, that is exactly how you feel. Like unajua hizi vitu, but laws na nini you cannot. Wewe unakaa tu hapo ukingoja training. Alafu you see those trainings, they are not really like ready. You can book now for like March next year. So between now and March, you are not able to categorize anybody.
Na sasa ukienda hiyo training, do they tell you like you don't train my samba?
Hakuna hata hiyo training ukienda unashangaa ni nini wamekufunza. Sasa they go and teach you about it, the sterility of it, the complications, nini hizo na kuretract. Unajua wanakufunza ati urudishe the foreskin after catheterization. Hiyo tu ndio wana stress. Other than that, hakuna. Yeah,
like if you look at what the training is all about, unashangaa sasa what were you waiting for?
Mimi naweza kama una hasira enda UK. Mimi naweza
nimekasirika siku hii. Mimi nakumbuka yani the first day. Shinda kiambia watu, you know my orienting, oh my gosh, she put 2 IVs on that patient. What kila mtu ako like, ule patient mnono. Yeah, ameweka IVCP. The following day tumekuja anasema, zile tuliweka bado ziko. Oh my god, you're so good. Nilikuwa kama hero. Iwe na kwa tu kila mtu anakuja. Can you please put your orienting please? 2 IVs. Can you please help? Because they let you shine. Kitu unajua
you training tena ina expire, my god.
Yeah, you have like an annual or after every 2 years or something like that. You have to renew the training.
Ni kama nini?
Mimi nangojea training yangu ya ILS.
Uende kufunzwa kuweka kateter. Sogeza first.
Na unangojea kufanya training ya first.
If you want to renew catheterization and let's kusongesha inaleta.
You want to kusongeza first.
Utarenew Kemi, utarenew. Unataka hiyo power sama utaki.
Wacha niwaambie basi, wacha niwashock. Unaona hata si tukienda kurenew hii nini? Inaitwa aje? Yes. My friend. Hata kuna friendly si kama ile hadi ilikuwa Kenya inakaa kitu ngumu.
Alafu zetu ni practical. Unaona hapo si masoro na
hiyo. Umekosea hii na inafaa ikuwe hivi. Mwalimu amekwambia
kuna mtu anauliza ati is it meant for kila mtu ama you African peke yake? It's not only for Africans, it's everybody. Hata watu wa UK somea UK schools of nursing wameenda university wako na degree zao, they will start from zero. Hata wao ndio wanakupatia kitabu because you're already competent, you mark them off, you see them doing the procedure, they observe you and then you see them doing the procedure and then you sign them off. So it's not only for you African nurses.
Kuweka catheter wanafanyia kwa ground in America. Wako na theory yes but hawajaiweka catheter, so tu wanawafunza kwa ground. So mtu mwenye ako MTC first year skills wise ako better than mtu amemaliza hivi hapa shule hapa.
Hawana skills lab Kemi ya kwenda ku practice.
Nani hawa
wa US hawana skills lab
mwenye ako alive. Hizo mannequins hawajaiweka catheter kwa mtu ako alive. So when they come to the
wakikuja training unajua wanakuja how many hours?
4 hours na wameenda saa 8
na saa hizo unapata Lilian ako off orientation na tayari nimepewa student afanye 8 hours na sijui ni for that week. Kwa ndio iko
so
mingi tulikuwa tunasukumwa na KMTC.
Wacha niwaondoe kwa trainings kiasi. So Carol, you've been in the UK and the systems unazielewa vizuri na pia za US by now unazielewa. So would it be advisable for those who have kids in the UK who have already adapted the education system and everything, will it be advisable to like go to the US together or have them back, which I believe will have a psychological effect in Kenya, and get yourself oriented around things in the US before you can have them, or which will be the best option?
So about the children and all, mimi sina your experience. I will let Lilian, Zipe, na anybody else mwenye ako US with the kids aseme about the kids. But I would think that there is if you're coming with an agency, si watakuwa wamesha kupanga ama I don't know, let me not answer this question. Wacha niachie Lilian na Zipe or someone else with experience with the children.
I think I can answer you from that because I have experience. Nilikuwa na mtoto UK and I have her in the US. So I think it all depends. US, but UK is a bit friendly because workplaces iko tu karibu, but US the distance is a bit challenge. Na pia moving with children, moving them from the UK to the US system, it's not a problem. They adapt very quickly. And I think pia wewe ndo decide, because it's also very expensive. And settling and looking for a house, it's a hassle.
Okay, thanks.
I thought ulikuwa unaulizia Manalala. Unaulizia education ama education system.
Ilikuwa both masomo, social wise, because looking at the things, me as the registered nurse coming to work there, I have to adapt to, and the kids on the other hand, because it has to be all round, because you cannot just go and shove them into a system and you're not in that system yourself. You have to grow and adapt with them. So I have this part of me adapting to the hospital system. I have kids adapting to the school system and social life there. So how will it be to be in a position to strike a balance?
If our kids adopt na sisi tuka-adapt from Kenya to here, sasa where you already in a first world, your kids adapting from a first world to another first world will be even more easier than sisi wenye kutoka third world. Our kids adapted from a third world school to a first world school, so you are more so far ahead of us.
I don't have kids, but I will tell you one thing about kids. You'll be surprised how your kids will adopt. But as I wale mabeshte wao within 1 month wamewasahau, and they'll be telling you about new friends in school, what they have done. Kids will adopt so fast, you wouldn't believe it. 100%. So really don't worry about the kids. They adopt very fast. I look at my friends' kids and I'm like, wow. And they don't even remember walikuwa Kenya. How old are your kids?
They're not toddlers. I've got a teenager and 9-year-old.
They will adopt well. This is a first world country venye nani amesema. Watoto wana adapt vizuri sana. They easily form relationships and all that. But if you're coming as a self-sponsored, then you might want to go to places where maybe they are Kenyans or people who have been in the UK. You might want to choose a state and you're feel eco-family friendly or weather friendly or whatever you may have to consider, so that you have that family support around you. Unaweza taka kwenda Washington, Minnesota, Dallas, Houston, places zenye zimejaa tu wa Kenya. So for your own self-support, and also these people have, kids and all that. So you may want to choose a place that has family social support for your kids if you're really, really scared. So places you will find good support.
Well, it's not really about being scared anyway, but the fact that at the back of my mind, I was going to experience NCLEX. It's a place where, sorry?
I'm saying we all have that fear of moving to a new town, a new town. We all have that fear.
I think your kids will just be fine. And then unajua nasemanga UK is a family. Yani if you have a family, you can thrive well in UK than in USA, but sisi ni Kenyans.
Honestly, hakuna difference. Imagine it's the same. UK and US family is the same. It's you to choose your priorities and what you want.
Unasema hapa watoto hakuna discipline, sijui hakuna nini. Childcare,
hakuna difference.
Na mimi kuna swali.
Raising kids use it's the same everywhere in the US. It's not about a state. Yes.
Yeah, so swali yangu ni kuongelea watoto. I wanted to ask about that question about kids. Now, I know this is like a very low question, but what about spouses when you move? Like, what kind of jobs are they going to do?
Jobs huku ziko mingi. It depends na Kenya mtu anataka. There are so many jobs. Mkono ziko hizo za $13, $14 depending on the state. Hizo zinamaanisha you just have a high school diploma and you are the right sense of mind. You know what is right and wrong. Those ones zimejaa. If you're a man, you can go to hizi places za kupack mizigo, cargos. You can work in a supermarket ya kupanga vitu kwa shelves. Unaweza work kwa go down mahali kuna mijengo. There are so many things you can do. If you're a lady, you might want to do caregiving. Unaweza ingia kwa course ya 1 month or 4 weeks. Men and women, they both can do caregiving. You can work in a hospital. You know, you can work in diet. Yani jobs huku ni mingi. Ni vile unataka. Do you want to go to school? Do you want to work when you're in school? There are so many jobs. So many of them.
Yeah, and I think it's easier in the US kufanya these short courses as compared to the UK in terms of money and availability. Like kuna many certifications you can just do for maybe around 6 to 2 years, 6 months to 2 years, and then you get certified and find your pathway here. Vitu kama surgical technologist, you can get training, get certified. It's competitive kupata, but still we are Kenyans. We if you want something that bad, you will work hard to get it.
One thing I will say about you, let your spouse not concentrate on just working. Can they concentrate also on going to school? Certifications, wazungu wanapenda karatasi. I usually feel like venye uko nayo in your 30s not the same utakuwa nayo in your 40s. I mean your 50s. So you learn here, make it a priority in 2 years to have a certification. Hata kama ni ya 6 months, hata kama ni ya nini, ile kitu uko nayo passionate about, also such things that you could do that are very, very marketable. Sometimes you could do kitu kama yenye neza kukufunga. Make sure you're in a field that even if you move across the countries, even if you move across the states, you're still able to find a job. And that is one of the reasons why people always go to healthcare. Healthcare is very ripe wherever you go. So one thing I'll tell people, if you come here as a spouse and probably the credentials you had from back home, they are not materializing into something you want to do or you want to change fields, just make sure you go to school. Hizi kazi za kufanya na mkono you get, unalipwa pesa kidogo, you use a lot of energy, there's no growth, frustrations, na mzungu ukiingia kazi hakuna kusimama. Cameras are all over, you cannot even use your phone, you cannot even do stuff. Just go to school and find a job that is a little bit better paying and a little bit not really easy, but something that you can move with if you're moving across the state. Yani kwa na karatasi tu.
Another thing kama naweza ongezea, there's a time date we discuss about this thing, although hatuko agree all of us, but we usually say unaona most of the time when the ladies most of us we are nurses, and then our spouses sana sana wenye wako Kenya wanakuja, maybe they are lecturers, they have big jobs, and then wanakuja wanaingia pengine Walmart nini, tuendelee tu kuwa support, and then we encourage them to go to school. Sababu whereas ladies huwa tuna strike kabisa, you start unaenda BSN, unaenda masters, unaenda PhD, umefika hapo na mtu wako baada yako hapo Walmart, hapo ndio mnaachana. But pia you men, you should try to level up. Anza kusoma, ukifika hapo umekuja, you are a lecturer back at home, ama sijui you are a doctor at home, kuja angalia what is good for you. Usikae hapo Walmart ukipanga all through. We need that money ya Walmart, but usikae hapo, because huyu bibi yako akiendelea, usually most of the time si 100%, mwanamke akiwa na doo hii nyumba kushinda mwanaume, ile pesa mingi sana, the lady is doing all the bills and everything, inakuanga na shida. Hii marriage huwa inaisha tu.
Unaanza kusema kuna mtu ameulizia historia ya watoto na according to the ages zenye amesema za watoto wake wako ile age wanaweza achwa walingane for a few hours, like the 15-year-old can look after the 9-year-old. So the only difference is maybe the already used to the UK system. Teenagers hawangi easy to convince. So that conversation about them moving maybe will be the hardest part. But once they get here, teenagers kwa interest tulikuwa tunafundishwa, there's a way you talk to teenagers that you don't talk to kids. Kuna watu wamesema it's easier for kids to adapt, but towards the teenage years it's a little bit difficult, and that's why you as a parent have to have those hard conversations with them, because teenagers in the US and teenagers in the UK or in Kenya maybe have different cultures, and bullying pia iko hiyo area, so that's where you as a parent really come in. But in terms of child care, hapo sasa wewe utakuwa umemalizana na story ya child care, because you can make food and the 15-year-old can actually look after the 9-year-old and vice versa. And then about spousal, just like Lillian is saying, spousal jobs are everywhere, especially come umekuja na agencies. The agencies will actually help you find a job for your spouse, if you're the man or the woman. If you're the man, usually the men prefer that their women stay home and take care of their kids and then probably go to school. If you're the woman, the agency will help you your spouse. But venye Lilian amesema, ukifika hapa na wewe ni mwanaume na wewe ndio spouse, there's so much things to unlearn. First of all, African men are not used to serving their women, are not used to serving their children. Kazi ya kulea watoto inakuanga ya baba, because even as we were growing up, you'd ask something from your dad and they'll be like, have you asked your mom? So that's a culture thing that they will have to unlearn, taking care of their kids, because watoto wako shule wanaenda a certain time, mama anatoka job a certain time. It will take a minute for the African man to learn and unlearn a few things. But once they settle, can they go to school? I usually tell people that you do not have to become a registered nurse to make it in life. Go to school. If you are an accountant, go to school. Go get a master's in accounting. If you're already at master's, get something else. Just something else. But if accounting is what you want to do, work hard for it. You'll still get it.
Lilian, unamaanisha nini eti kazi ya Walmart? Kuna watu wako hapa juu Walmart inamaanisha nini?
Walmart is a general store like Naivas or Tuskegee. So it's a place that is easy to inaona nini watu wanaandikwa haraka na wanafutwa haraka, because Americans hawapendi kazi ngumu. So kazi kama hizo, especially a loading, packaging, hizo ni kazi ngumu kwa mtu amelelewa kwa hii country. And such jobs, African men can actually easily for them. The other places that they go to is places like Lowe's or Home Depot. Hizi ni places zinahitaji muscles. We know a vitu from shelf to shelf or unshelving forever.
Ni kama warehouse jobs UK. Watu wa UK warehouse, you get what they mean, like warehouse. Like you have to use your physical strength. Migongo
na wazungu hawapendi physical. Si wazungu. Cannot do farming, hawapendi kazi ngumu, wanapenda kazi wanaketi na wanaletewa. But as an African man, unaweza ingia nini shamba na this in the US called Wisconsin. Uko juu. It's a place where there's a lot of the milk that is consumed in the US comes from Wisconsin. You'll be surprised how many Calais are busy milking cows up there.
Yeah, wanacha huko.
Hizo ni kazi haizifanya. So even as our incoming president anayapa hapo akisema kazi haziisha kwa sababu zikiisha hivi wazungu hawezi fanya kazi. There are places like each state kuna ile kitu ina produce. Kama sisi state yetu ina produce singi crabs. Crabs is a type of fish. So each state has that thing that they produce. And kazi kama mjengo, hawapendi mjengo. Hawapendi kazi ngumu, in short. So hizo kazi ngumu zinalipa vizuri, but called trade jobs. Trade jobs are like electricity, plumbing. What else? Easy engineering. This is a garage detergent. Automotive what? See engineers. Mechanics. Those are things that you can go back to school for, and they are really paid well. But as a man, ukikuja huku na ulikuwa accountant home, and you can still be accountant. There's a story running on Lingugi Live of an accountant who was like almost the CEO of a very big bank here in the US. So it does not mean that ukikuja huku lazima tu ufanye caregiving ama ufanye nini. Sit down, go back to school, jiongeze masomo. Study imeonyesha, there's a study that shows that Kenyan men, when they get here, they're so lazy, they don't want to go back to school. And then they blame their women when wanaachwa. It's true. Mimi mahali niko sahi, I will not sit with any man who does not want to go back to school. It will not happen.
Haya, kuna mtu ako na swali hapo na kama anasema I have 2-year-old daughter, single dad. Itabidi nimwache, give me ideas. Then mtu akamwambia, oh please come with your baby. When she turns 3, she can start, I don't know what that is, 3 school. So huyo anasaidiwa aje?
Huyo mwenye ni single dad akikuja na mtoto anafaa kukuwa na plans in place, because kama atakuwa anacheza ni mtoto akienda training orientation.
Yeah, so from like experience yangu ya UK, if you're a single dad huwezi kwa kuja na mtoto, it will be very difficult and you cannot even afford child care. So US.
Yeah, I have a friend ni akona mtoi. I think she's less than 6 months old. Yeah, and the childcare here is crazy expensive. So hourly, the nannies, our childminders, or you can talk nannies. So hourly, anaitisha around $18 to $20. So imagine paying that for like 3 days, like 18. Same kama umekuja na agency wanakulipa 35. So if you go to work, every hour you're working, unapeana $20 huku, you get only 15 for yourself. Like, yeah, it's just crazy expensive.
As well, they look at the age of the child minders. The younger the child, the more expensive it becomes. And then if they're at that age of terrible to terrible, then that's where they rip you their child care.
Yeah, but it's not the end of the world. You can if you have friends coming to the same place as you, yeah, you can mnaweza shikana, like if you're 2 or 3 families. That's what some people do, so that you plan your shifts accordingly. Yeah, but it's still a bit community.
Yeah, you have a community with like-minded people with similar goals or similar needs. That way you're able to steer ahead.
Yeah, so there's someone said, yeah.
safe, mimi naweza ambia huyu mwenye ako na mtoto, this countries it's very difficult to kuwa single parent na mtoto kama haujajipanga vizuri. So to be safe, aache mtoto nyumbani to people wenye anawajua, and then afike huko ajipange. If ana feel ako kwa community mzuri yenye inaweza msupport, or if atapata mtu by God's grace mwenye atakubali kukuwa na mtoto mwingine na waishi pamoja, then that can help.
Lakini kuna watu kwa hii group or people I know who are single parents but sijasikia single dad. Watu wenye wamekuja huko as single parents probably watapata experience yao so that to see assume. But I believe kuna community resources who single dad anaweza saidiwa. So before you understand itakuwa ngumu.
Yeah, being a single parent is one thing, but being a single dad is another. I don't know how this, but it's not really easy. As a lady, being a single mom, I think we always have way around things, but it's quite technical for a man, because essentially, or as per society, the man is viewed as a figure of sufficiency. And normally, men do not go into vulnerability like a woman will go. And I think as per the standards the society has set away in the past, a man is supposed to stand. Remember the days of men are not supposed to cry, men are not supposed to do this, but they're human. So when it comes to a man, child, it's another whole lot on its own. Honestly, not unless you have given the age of this child, this is a vulnerable child who may not be able to speak for themselves, who may not be able to show discomfort in any other way other than crying. So it's really technical, and I think this is where someone would need to actually sit down and evaluate and re-evaluate and see if it's really worth it. Because speaking from a single parent's point of view abroad, with kids my kids' age, it's not easy. And now, given this is someone who has a child under 5, actually makes it more technical. You'll have I'm not coming home to see if the house is up to the standards to take care of an under 5, all the safeguards surrounding this child, all the equipment you need in that house to make sure that the child is safeguarded and everything. Back home to the community. And we have the luxury, actually, we have the luxury of having nannies back home. They are on disposal. You can do anything and you'll have someone who will take good care of your child. But here, I can speak for the UK, there is a lot of safeguards. You'll have health visitor, you have your named nurse for your child, you'll have the midwife still following up, you have the immunization nurse following up, and remember you're also working. So you also have the demands of your work. So I think my heart goes for single dads. Because here, like when I was coming here, I was told that, yeah.
You also have the nosy neighbors looking at what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They knock. I remember there was a time I came from night shifts and kids are on holiday, big as they are, and my neighbor knocks. And I told the kids they shouldn't open the door.
So, to my surprise, there was a police officer outside my house. And someone had said the kids are home alone. And I'm like, how will they be home alone? I'm just sleeping from a night shift and I'm here. So, yeah. So, I don't know. But this is a child. And when we look at care surrounding an under 5, especially in the UK, there's so many aspects of care and people who will be involved in this child. The child here, I say, in broad daylight, belongs to you when it's still in the utero. Once it's out there, my friend, you'll have everybody and everything flying around you, and you are like, did I make a mistake looking at this child? Because I usually I feel like they're trying to just look for an opportunity to pin you down and make you feel like you're not doing this right. You should be doing this and not this and all this kind of thing. And the child will grow eventually anyway. So for an under 5, if a single mom is not I don't know how to put it. It's really hard anyway. Because huku nje, when I was coming here, I was told the society here knows this. The most important person or whatever here is what I was told before I came here. So America, it's the same. So I don't know. My heart goes to you. Sometimes you just wish you had something you could do to help a situation, because this is a child who needs a parent at this age to be near when she or he is growing up. This is a very vulnerable age, and it's a very sensitive one as well. So yeah, they say here the most important and the most protected thing is a woman, a child, and a pet.
Is this person, sorry, I'm showering. Is this person already on the way coming here? I'm just trying to look for that message. I'm just asking.
Kemi, I think it would be easier if we tumpandishe. Wacha muni drop apande ndio aseme story ishe mara moja. Yeah, I think it will be easier. Just drop me umpandishe.
Acha ni drop tu, hata nataka kulala.
Lilian, maybe utachangia hiyo. She's gone.
I don't even see.
Anaitwa Anson?
Jalo.
Yeah.
Anson, send your request. Oh, it's there already.
Proposal is just to defer this implementation as
Hi guys. Hello.
Hi, tunakusikia.
Hi. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but kuna background noises.
Niko job, sijatoka. I don't know if nitaongea vizuri. Let me excuse myself. So I have this niko na mtoto 2 years. Tulikosana na mama na mamaka muacha, so alimwacha kwa 10 months. It's been hard, but najikakamua, nataka kila weekend kumuona. Nafanya dika, but home ni Machako, so kila weekend nakuwa on my way. Na imekuwa ngumu because anakaa na madhe. So nifanye NCLEX imepita, nifanya IELTS kitambo kidogo wakati wa UK, band score yangu ikufikia UK. Nikaopt kufanya US, so nishamaliza na exams nangojea tu mambo na visa. But it's current. Yeah.
So uko current.
Yeah.
My very humble opinion though, first congratulations for passing your exam and doing the process. It's not easy, especially as a single parent, given the surrounding issues as you have said.
Yeah.
You've said mom stays with your child.
Yeah, she stays with my mom. So every weekend, naendanga kumuona every weekend. Because mama yake alimwacha 10 months, so siwaga simcount kwa maisha ya mtoto.
Well, it's a bit dynamic. I know you would like to move with your child, but my humble opinion, given the age of this child, is it a daughter or a son?
A daughter.
Right. That makes it actually more technical. One, according to the Kenyan law, I stand to be corrected. A child's custody is granted to the father if one, the mother has been deemed unfit to take care of the child, and especially a girl child. They can, in a few circumstances, they are given to their dads. I don't know much about legalities of custody and everything, but you will need to have sole custody for this child and a certificate of no contempt if you wanted to relocate with the baby. But you can leave the child with your mom, support them to take care of your child, move to the US, settle down, know your way around everything, and then probably by that time, you'll have your way around getting a nanny or childcare support and everything else. And then you bring this child to a place that you have already set a system that will work for them. Otherwise, in these countries, I will tell you for sure, getting your child taken away from you is just a flick of a second. For reasons that you as the parent may not even be able to process. And what I would say is, I'm not sure if your baby is already included in the process, because I've had friends who've moved to the US with kids who are under 10 and they're single parents, and they've had to send them back home and then to keep their visas or green card still updated. You have the kid visit you. You can even apply for your mom's visit visa, and they can come to visit with the child, and all these other things will fall in place. But I would honestly, I feel you need to leave the child with your mom first, support them. If it means getting them a nanny to help here and there so that mom can give the child 100% of her attention, I think that would be in the best interest of this child for now, until you are settled. Because I'll give you an example of what I did. I came to the UK in 2022. I left my kids back home because I didn't know my way around here. I didn't know the dynamics of childcare here. So I spent a whole, was it one year and some 2, 3, 4 months before I could even get my kids on board. Because I needed to understand the system, because I'd rather have my kids back home than have them in a certain foster care. That's my honest advice. But we can only advise, it's you to decide. The decision still lies with you, but for the best interest of this child, let the child be with your mom first as you relocate and settle. Have her as current. You can apply for mom's visit visa. She can bring the kid over to visit for a few weeks or few months. I don't know how visit visa in the UK works, but I think that would, in my own opinion, I don't know if anybody has a different opinion, but congrats anyway.
Anaweza like if he has an agency, aulize kama mama yake anaweza kuja na yeye kama caregiver wa mtoto.
certificate of no contempt. Otherwise, you're not going to leave that country with that child, even if it's for visits.
So custody, do you mean I have to go to get a letter from the legal measures?
Yes, juu hata visa hatapewa.
Hata kama mamake mtoto alidisappear hujaimuona, you have to go to court, get a lawyer, go to court and say, huyu mamake mtoto alidisappear for 2 years ago or 1 year ago. Now, hii imekaa na problem. Sijui mahali uko save the court. Kesi yako ni rahisi sana. Court itakupatia ile inaonekana, but bila hiyo, they will always ask mamake mtoto ako wapi, and you need to bring a letter to show that this person has not been in the life, and so you are granted custody as the sole parent. Yeah, you need that very clear. Hiyo hata kama uko na hiyo nayo kwa mtoto.
Hata kwa airport, I remember when I was bringing my kids at the airport, mpaka wanaulizwa huyu ni mama yenu, where are your birth certificates? And all these consents, so kama ni custody, and then of course vile mtoto aliachwa akiwa 10 months bado ziko, but kuna wazee wa kijiji, and probably this information is out there in the village. You can get a chief, an area chief, a sub chief, or if it was not reported to the children's department, then it needs reporting, so that, because hata ukienda through this legal process of custody ya huyu mtoi, they will send you back to the grassroots, because they need information from either the area chief, someone who can give a testimonial that for real, we know this child was left at this age, the father has been taking care of the child and the grandmother and everything. Usually they will even ask for a letter from church. So I think if you're looking into relocating with your child, then you need to start the process now, because it's not something that will take a week or two. Because you'll need a lawyer, and then this sole custody is granted by the court after they have done their due diligence and ascertained that you're the only sober parent to take care of this child and to make decisions revolving around this child moving forward. Juu pia mama akisikia you're planning to relocate with this child, my friend, inaweza kuwa drama pia. Hiyo time utaitwa sweetie zote ukiambiwa pole.
Yeah. From your point,
it's so dramatic. Akijua nataka shida. But what happened, wakati nilimwacha nilienda kwa chief, nikareport, but akaniambia tu nikaa na mtoto. So sikushindia story mingi sana. Since then hakuja kuwa any issues ya kupigania mtoto nini. Mama ananiambia napitia.
That makes it easy. Let the chief write you a letter. That you will go to the children's department. They also do a letter, and then it proceeds to the court. The lady will just be served with a court order, and then because she has she'll have to know that you want full custody of the child anyway. But she doesn't necessarily have to know that you're looking for custody to relocate. No, you also have to draw the lines. You need to be a bit discreet.
Yeah, that is what I wanted to say, because I have had such a problem. I have a kid, and when I was relocating to get this kid, I was staying with the kid for until good years. But whenever this lady had that I'm relocating, ilikuwa drama ajabu. This is a lady who has never stayed with that kid. Hajui hata huyu mtoto anafanana aje, hajawahi muona for 13 years. When that moment relocation ilitokea, that is where the drama begins. So whenever you're doing custody, especially as a man, it is a very tricky situation for you. You also need to get the right documents and everything. If we're very right na information yako iko sawa, you need to find a good lawyer mwenye anaelewa kitu anafanya, not just anything. because inakuanga na hiccups na inakuanga na stress mingi sana.
And also, if this lady has been in this child life in any way, maybe she drops in to say hello to the kids, she brings some gifts, that is a very strong point that she's still interested in this child. And she's got evidence that she's been doing 1, 2, on Sundays or once in a month, I drop by. And as I said, the society holds a woman differently as a man. Let's just put it as it is. Let's call a spade a spade. And most of the systems or the laws in place, they incline much more to a mother than a father. And anyway, sisi tumeona, we've seen even maternity leave. What can you talk about 1 year worth of maternity leave compared to 2 weeks worth of paternity leave? Both of them are equal parents to this child anyway. Hakuna mwenye aliproduce chromosomes 50, mwingine akaproduce 20. No, it was equal. So they all have equal rights to this child. So that's the way it is. So if this lady has been either dropping in to see the child, even hata kama ni ile sweetie ya 5 bob, hata kama ni sweetie ya 5 bob anapeanga huyo mtoi, it still shows some compassion towards this child. And again, if she comes and says, gives her reasons why she left the kid and even if it's just one off, so you also need to make calculated moves and then do a soul search. Is this really what you want for yourself and your daughter? And then forge ahead. And once you make such decisions, because these are vital decisions for this child, remember she's someone who can make decisions. So whatever you do at this point will affect this child many, many years to come. So I think if you have proper documentation and be as discreet as you can, because I'm not sure why ladies were called drama queens, but I think we are the best CIDs when it comes to relationship issues and when it comes to our exes. So just be very, very discreet about this process. Wacha isikue you're getting custody of this child because you want to leave the country. Wacha ikue reason ingine.
Okay, thank you guys. Saidika.
Hello.
Yes.
Lilian hapa anauliza kama mnajuana. Lilian mwenye amekuwa kwa hiyo kona yenye uko sahihi. Anauliza kama mnajuana because she feels maybe she has worked with you in a given facility or somewhere. If you just go to her profile.
Wacha ni drop condition Lilian ndio waongee hapa.
Lilian namjua tu kwa YouTube. Lakini kama alifaifanya either Makueni County Referral, nimefanya via Avenue. So sijui nimefanya Reno, sijui wafanya Reno.
Anasema si wewe.
Okay, sir.
But Nini, Kialo, I am so sorry you have to go through this, but children are very, very sensitive. It's a very sensitive topic. Na hakuna kitu yenye naweza sema yenye Ana hajasema. Literally, move in silence, move as fast as possible. Because hizi vitu kwenda kwa chief, kuleta hizo mabarua kupeleka kwa children's court, kupata lawyer, it takes time. So unajua system ya Kenya venye iko. You know? Yeah. Wewe, never disclose to anybody that unaenda America. Yani, yaka 50 ndio pita. The moment anasikia unaoa, literally, masaitani zenye ziko ndani yetu, I don't know. Some of them, they just wake up and they will just nini you like that. Zitakuharibia tu mood, zitakuharibia process. You'll have to wait. You'll be put under what? You don't want all those things to happen. You've already gone through a hard process of doing NCLEX as a single parent and working. I give it to you, brother. You know, we need more people like you can go far and beyond their tribulations and still succeed.
So I don't want mali ufike inini. Kwenda tu chini ya maji sema huyu mama sijaimuona. Me, I want the Lord to give me the child. Just tusikuje kusumbuana in the future. If this person is ready to see their child, that's fine. But I want to be able to be legally known as the parent of this child, and I can make decisions for this child without anyone interfering with the decisions I make. Make it look like you waited for this lady and you know you want to do things straight up the way they're supposed to be done. Ukipewa hiyo nini wewe silent na makaratasi yako kuja embassy, kuonyesha documentation zako and then move. But as part of venye nakwambia you stay mtoto abaki Kenya, I will not really add anything about that. Parenting in America hata watoto wenye ni wakubwa, it is so stressful. Achana hata na mtoto mdogo mwenye ako under 5. You know, you are moving here because of your child and your generations. You know, everything you're doing is for this child. I know that. So, you can get that visiting visa for mama. Mama atakuwa anakuletea mtoto hapa like once a year, or twice a year. Flight ticket is cheaper. You can choose nini na where you will be able to work like 3 days or 4 days. Ukichukua off, you have like 8 days off. You can stay home with your child. Your mom can come na akae na mtoto as long as possible. Na arudishe mtoto nyumbani because hata si mtoto anaenda shule. You know, you can still take that advantage and do that. As a permanent resident, you have a lot of rights. And you can always get a visa for your family member. Hapo anakuletea mtoto. Because hata hapo tika mahali huko you have to go every 2 weeks. So you must bring your child na anakaa na yeye hapa 2 months alafu anarudi nyumbani anakaa 6 isha. You know, mpaka ifike time. And you never know. 3 years, 4 years, it's a long time. You might find someone mwenye mko ready to start a family and that baby will seamlessly integrate. 1 year is a long time for things to change. So never really. I hope things work out for you as you move here. Keep on joining these lives. There are so many people here who are very knowledgeable, very selfless with information and everything that me, I don't have kids, but I'm scared of having kids. I'm going to have kids, but I'm really scared because I know the kind of demon that waits for me. It's a lot taking care of the children. It's just you, your spouse, and your child. And when you're a single parent, as bad as it sounds, we don't have a lot of social support. We don't have a lot of, you can't even rely on your friends because beshtako sikwenyako off. Wezi mweka schedule ya kupangalia watoto. People are resting, people are picking, working overnight, they're sleeping during the day. Yani huku hata kuona so hard because of the way the system is built and the things that people are trying to achieve by themselves, their financial goals, their social goals. It's a lot. It's a lot, but I'm glad that your mom is there. She's supportive, and just move silently and move here, and then get those rights for your mom to visit with the child. And you can always visit with the child. Kama saizi ticket, you have a lot of times off as a nurse here. You only work 3 days. You can add your days up, 10 days, and you fly home and see your child. So you can see your child here, back and forth, 4 times a year if you want to know mtoto. Under 5, you know, whether you're there really or not, it doesn't really impact, but I'm glad that they're in the hands of a woman who's going to parent your child. That's the blessing that you have.
So Kemi, ataenda embassy awapewe like interview dates itakuwa moja with the 2-year-old alafu akuje wa enter into the US, or what will happen so that the child also has the visa?
Ni vile yeye atataka kuifanya. So when your child can follow you after 6 months. Like any dependent of yours can follow you after 6 months. He might want to leave the child for 6 months, nyumbani up to 5 months, 6 months. Of course, itakuwa expire hiyo ya kukaa outside. Akuja hapa settle and everything. Within those 3, 4, 5 months, might apply for his mom. Akuje na mtoto. You know, if things work out fast kwa embassy, he might apply. I don't know saizi venye visas ina delay, that's possible, but he can quit. Zake after narudishe mtoto akishapata documentation, but yes, anafaa ende embassy apate visa ya mtoto, but then he is allowed to leave the child for 6 months after he travels.
Na sasa because mtoto ana haraka sana kukuja, is it advisable amweke follow to join?
Yes, ndio ya nini follow to join. What is the extent of follow to join watu wenye umeacha family? I only know it is 6 months, within 6 months.
That's not 6 months.
Hiyo ni 1 year.
Follow hainanga nini? Hainanga
start their process. Ama aje Lilian?
So we have filed already. So at what point do you put them follow to join after amepata visa?
No, before when you get your 60, that's when you should put them follow to join. Ama ukipata interview date and then you change your mind.
Okay. I don't know how things work after follow to join. Does it delay your visa when you're ready for this person to follow you now? Does it delay? When fanya hiyo kitu, does it delay how many they get here or how long it takes? Kuna mtu anasema inaweza take milele hata
mtoto wake ni mdogo, anaweza mweka follow to join, si ako na mama yake.
Na pia ni kama mtoto wake, kama kuna hiyo option ya documents kwa sawa follow to join, I will go for follow to join. And then Kiana, when you come here, you are making enough to fly home even 4 times. Every time you fly home, you can even stay up to 10 days. That's a lot of time ya kuona mtoto wako. There is that option.
Actually, I was not intending to put her in the process, but you two go a group to the needs online too. People got watu wanasema itakuwa tricky kukuja blah blah no nini. So I was afraid.
What do they say? What do they say? Tell us what they say. They obviously don't say blah blah. What do they say?
To follow.
Last time tulienda.
Hello?
Yeah.
Once here. Yes. Initially sikuwa nataka kumweka process, but ideas kwa watu wengine kaniambia sitaje mtoto wako sio itakuwa ngumu kujoin baadaye, so
but I think una haraka, so hata
mimi ningemweka to follow to nini to follow because I di shule si eti hapo na nini. I'm saying one
uchape shift ufanye kazi kama yote, you make the money.
Hata mimi naweza mweka tu follow to join because huyu mtoto ako na more than 10 years. Si unaweza weka mtoto wako, unaweza mleta before akue ni 20 ama 21 years. So uko na miaka mingi sana. Anasema ati 5 years what? 5 years huyu akuja settle atakuwa
mtoto wa tia sana ni kukaa na shosho nyumbani. Unajua mapenzi ya shosho wenye ni mzuri wewe. Na alafu kwanza kukiwa na dola mahali. Unakuwa reloaded. Unakuja msichana hapo akuja asaidie shosho kuosha manguo, kulisha mtoto, maybe hata kulala na mtoto. Shosho hapo. It will cost you less than $100 kuspoil you mtoto na house girl.
But I feel this child needs to be included in the process. Halafu amwache.
Follow to join.
Okay.
Hata ikachukua 1 year.
Follow to join, you are documented uko hapo, ni venye tu hujaenda visa.
Yeah, but make sure you get the legal documents vile umeambiwa in place. So ndio ikifika time ya kukuja isi take too long.
Yeah, kwanza hizo vitu
chini ya maji kabisa.
Ndio sasa uko home tukifika maji.
Chini ya maji na sasa hapo TikTok.
Numbers of office you can call for any legal department or anything. Make sure you kwa hapa.
Otherwise you'll be paying for air tickets to go for a court hearing because they can not give you a Zoom one.
Oh yeah. Another question. I have a very sensitive question. So it's my friend, one of my friend. Tayuko, but ideas mtaniambia nitamwambia. So yeye hapo kwa process ya US, ashamaliza NCLEX yake, is married, ako na mtoto mmoja. But then after kumaliza NCLEX, unaona ako tu anangojea retrogression. Akapata he wants to divorce the husband. Sababu ya reason yenye haiwezi sameheweka ama ni nini? Mnaweza advise aje?
Kama tu samehewa. Kama tu alicheat.
Alicheat. Mnaweza advise aje?
I'm divorced. Na mtoa kwa makaratasi yake. What else? I feel like it's better to do it in Kenya, Mama, because this is a want to move into another life. If someone has already shown you they're not faithful for whatever reason, na waita kigombi ama ego. Wacha tu wachana na yeye Kenya, and then you move over here, really, they can divorce them. All you need to do, you just need to tell your agency to retract that application. It is as simple as one email.
Yeah,
One
sasa
email.
nili yake fia yake ni ile hata pia mtoto consent ya kukuja naye. What do you do? What does she? Atafanya nini?
Is it the lady or the man who has
The lady ndio anakuja na mtoto. The lady is the nurse.
Na Igongi ni bwana.
Igongi ni bwana ya.
Wacha the lady take advantage of the current law in place. The law gives the mother an upper hand when it comes to a child. And we
anyway, 3 years hapo.
Yeah, that's a very young child. Yeah, so definitely the mother is of sound mind, the father is of sound mind, but given the circumstances, chances are the mother gets the custody of the child.
But
history ya divorce nayo ni tricky. Lakini history ya kucheat, wacheni tu tuongee ukweli, sisi tuko huku majuu. I've been here on my own for 3 years now, and the cases of people I've had asking if they can just call home office to get this man or this woman out of my visa or my dependents or something. Ziko juu sana. But at the same time, history ya kucheat, I don't know the extent it goes. Anyway, it's relative and it's very personal because mtu anaweza kucheat na ile impact itakuwa nayo kwako is different from another person. So, if this lady really wants to divorce because of whatever reasons they are personal to her, I would ask if she took a little bit time and see if this is really what she wants to do, given they have a young child.
Akichukua time to think, I also
time is relative.
Yeah, I can think. My question is, when we talk about the law giving the mother a upper hand, does this law apply worldwide and does it apply at the embassy? Kwa sababu time atakuwa na mtoto, there are questions wakati atakuwa na plan with this.
That is where I'm heading to.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I was applying for my kids' visa, I didn't have an option. I had to involve their dad. Because this is the question they asked at the embassy. The father is an equal parent. What is it that isolates him from giving care and looking after these children when you work? So she needs to be ready for all this, and that is why I'm saying she needs to pause and take time and think if this is really what she wants. Because if it is, then she needs to have everything at her finger points, no back and forth. Otherwise, it might also jeopardize her own relocation process. Because as it now, there has been several cases of people reporting the immigration department in Kenya saying, you allowed so and so to run away with my child, you allowed so and so to do this, you allowed so and so to do this. So I think it's very, it gets more strict with time because things keep changing by day. So she needs to sit down and reflect, because both parents, as I said, are deemed as equal parents to this child, and for a child's upbringing and well-being, it has to be a mother and a father, unless circumstances deem that process are not viable anyway. So, divorce is relative, and reasons are relative. I remember for my case, this is a bit personal. I had to play along. And yeah, I even went, we applied for all passports and I was playing along. I did have issues getting ID and everything. But at the back of my mind, I was like, after being separate for almost 14 years, there's no way we are going, Even the kids didn't know him anyway. So I played along because I. So sometimes you just have weigh your options and see what works. But people will say include him and then go your separate ways. People will say go ahead and do. Divorce does not take a day. And probably by at this point, the guy already knows that the lady is relocating because you said she has already done her NCLEX.
Yeah.
So what if he refuses to sign? It's his right. And even if he signs, he says, on one condition that I get to keep my daughter's custody or my son's custody. There is nothing the court will do about it because both of them are equal parents. And for those of us who are here, you understand there is, personally, I feel like they try as much as possible to see if kids can stay in their home countries than come here. That's my own experience. So I think let her take time and think about it. If she wants to continue the process with him and then they go their separate ways, which I've seen most people doing, and guys have decided, no, this was not for me. They just go back home. I have several friends who decided, you know what, instead of all these headaches, I'm going to apply for everybody. And then when you come, just know you're not coming to my address, my friend, you will go your way. And people have started this divorce process and it takes all the time until you lose your contract because you are not able to enter before the whole of this process is done. So these things are very sensitive.
And then put your divorce with the US.
Yeah, I don't know how divorce happens anyway, but hapo, it's not an easy one. Ended their way. And then another thing is probably let's take let's take it this way. Let's say she decides let's just proceed, and then they get to the US. So now they don't even know what this child is eating or what this child is growing up like and everything. Waende kule. Si amefika huko na amepata their own way of life. Then he must do child support. Allah. You share responsibilities. Kama ni
you can
50%, unalipa 50%.
Annie, you can also take care of that woman if he doesn't have a job.
Yeah, I know. So either way, that's why I'm saying it's a very tricky and shaky and sensitive situation. Yeah, wakifika huko wana job, they are not earning as much as they are, and you have to pay them, or they will not be exempted from child support. Sasa utakuwa pia umelose on that end.
So you can imagine you brought somebody huku, divorce, unamlipia na yeye ana take care of another woman in Kenya, ama hata anamleta tena. So painful.
Hiyo nayo ni tricky sana. Divorce tu Kenya, kukiwaka, you're not coming to the promised land, baby. Bye.
But unajua sasa mtoto hata kuja.
Sio unajua sasa pia huyu anataka kupunish ya mtoto. Sasa that is hapo sasa ndio anapanga battlefield. Sawa, na wewe hiyo America you will not go with you. Yaani atataka kufilisha hata kama hataki mtoto. That one I know for sure. Hiyo story hata ni tricky. It's very tricky and sensitive, honestly. Very sad. Na kuna nini lakini hii yenye wamefanya mpaka NCLEX ni lazima kuna marriage certificate. Iko hiyo kama
they have marriage certificate.
Aki wanaume they legally bound. Mbona mna complicate maneno? Akina Alpha, akina nani, can I call your name? Akina Pound. Unaona vile mna complicate maneno maneno ya wanawake akina Kialo. Kialo yeye anaanza. Kialo exclude you, I'm sorry. Not how you complicate things. Like we are sitting here 30 minutes trying to not haki guy. When you do faith.
Bali ya hii story ilinishinda ndio maana nimeileta hapo.
Imetushinda basi hata sisi mama.
Lilian, from my point of view, I think time time itakuwa very important sana. I make any decision. Inaweza kuwa it's really a fresh boat yenye iko sahi.
Sasa ako hapo mahali pa kujaza nini?
Acha nikuulize, Akina is always a cheater. Unataka nikakati za
kuna ile kukufeel zinaitwa aje sasa?
140.
Yeah.
Wewe nani pounds? Unataka kusema eti kucheat eti atapoa, eti amekasirika. A cheater is always a cheater.
I do agree with you. A cheater is always a cheater, but mwenye ana deal na huyo cheater pia anajua vile ana deal na yeye. So
yes, sasa ndio maana ana seek help because yeye ameshafika mwisho. Si anaona kuna possibility. Mimi nakubaliana na Kemi, hakuna haja ya kuexport problem.
Kuja hapa, kwanza nikwambie, akuja hapa, aweke Black American wawili mimba, everything ana add, unajua lazima alipe. Step that home. They can also share.
Atakuwa ameimport problems, atadili nayo.
Unasikia mwenye ni uchungu umeleta mtu hapa, alafu hapa ameweka mimba, na hapo unajua hata kuna wanawake huko hawendi kazi. Hizi nyeusi za huko haziendi kazi. Wanaomba wanajirembesha na ni warembo, watakaa hapo kidogo umeanza mtu anakuja anafanya kazi but 1500 inaenda child support child 1 child 2. Mtu akishalipa child support 2 peke yake hana kitu, wewe ndio unamlisha. In the name of what?
Ndio ako na point hapa, si amlete then afika hapa muitie polisi sema amemchapa arudishwe.
Na pia hiyo ni kitu kingine, anaweza fika hapa report na style hiyo.
Nakwambia we 1% ni shida bwana. Alafu akuje hapa apigwe na dry spell ya miaka kadhaa hivi huku na vile watu wameadimika, aanze kuisha fadhali jito wake.
Gladys anasema I know someone alienda embassy na akasema wako wana process divorce. Shida si divorce, shida ni mtoto.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Consent ya mtoto.
Yeah, that's the thing. As much as tunaongelea divorce, as much as tunaongelea cheating, this lady did not come to us for process a divorce. The lady is coming to us with the intention of mtoto. So as much as we're talking about man cheating and not cheating, we need to address the point. The point is the baby atafanya aje.
Lakini hapa
as for divorce.
Lakini hapa kama US ukifunga macho useme ukuje na huyu mtu, wacha nisimuite huyu mtu, ukuje na huyu former sweetheart wako, baba ya mtoto wako, halafu ikuwe mimi ndio ninamlisha na nilishe mtoto na kila kitu.
Halafu inaweza kuwa vitu zenye anafanya huko nje. Unajua kunanga wote nikwambie support mwanaume alafu mwenye ashakudharau kiwango hiyo. Yaani unakuanga ni ile kisanga very painful. Unataka kumwangalia kwa macho kwa kitu za devil ndio hivi.
Anaenda atafute solo custody.
Unauliza
na solo custody itakuwa nini Maria?
Hawezi tafuta solo na wamekuwa wakiraise mto hivyo.
But Lilian, kwani tulihamanga Kenya kwenye you can, the law can work for you, like your money can work for you. Ama kwa Kenya.
Sasa kuna pesa pia.
Yeye pia si yako.
Hata akikuwa na pesa, kwani mtu anajua siku unaenda interview date. Si una process makaratasi, una sign hizo consent, kila kitu.
Watakwenda huko wasema umetoroka na mtoto.
Let's hata tuongelee.
Patikana unatoroka na mtoto, unajua utawaje kanyaga USA maisha yako tena.
It's not even about running with the baby. Mimi wakati nilikuwa na process
mwanaume ni mkisi. Sijui kama ni mkisi ama si mkisi.
Basi kama
nilikuwa nasema wakati nilikuwa na process documents za mtoto, I really tried to go for some reasons ikifika kwa issues za mtoto na ifike kwa child offices. For some reasons tu wanataka like what the mother or the father says. So for me it was interview ya officer na the mother, kwa sababu lazima iandikwe hapo, and especially ikikuja kwa mtoto relocate from one country to another. So as much as tunafikiria in terms of money, when it comes to the office, when it comes to relocation, they must contact the other party at some point. or else itaweka mtu kwa shida.
Yeah, children's departments do not joke, by the way.
Mtu anasema kuforge hapana, we are not advising anyone to forge hapa.
No.
Children's department is not a joke. And look, we are talking about a child who is under 5. Do you know how an under 5 is classified? Yes.
Ukiweka kitu kwa mikono ya serikali inaenda either way. You don't have control over it.
Hata serikali inaweza chukua huyo mtoto. Wacha sasa tunasema serikali za huku Kenya nyumbani. I've seen cases where the government has taken the kid. Na kwa children's home. So, sasa akikuwa mtoto ndo battlefield because clearly hapa the biggest issue itakuwa ni mtoto. And I know this is where she's feeling a bit pained because hizo 9 months tunabebaga mtoi na kwenda labor wanaikuangi mchezo. And as a mother, it's very painful and equally as a father anyway. But his situation, Lillian,
Ni ngumu.
ni ngumu. Acha tukubali.
Divorce Kenya hapa divorce hapa. Na unasema ako ready kufile hizo papers. Na hizo shirika anaanza ASAP.
I think akuje tu na yeye alafu amprovoka mtape amwite polisi. I think mimi nitafanya hivyo. Data ikiwa but nitafanya hivyo.
Kimoja judgment ya Christ.
Anyway. Hata nini namna.
Alafu hiyo ya kufu is the worst idea ever. Unaenda kuanga it's an extreme sport defending lie. Inakuanga very easy defending the truth. Mambo na kuforge hiyo ni idea nyingine mbaya kabisa.
Mimi niliambia baba nikamwambia wacha nikwambie we are growing older, tunazeeka, these kids are growing. So why would you deny your child an opportunity to have a better life? Unajua hawa watoto mdivorce mkose kudivorce, they will still go back and look for their father and their mother. That's the point. So mimi nilitumia blackmail, kamwambia sasa ona hawa wataenda wapate life poa, maybe in our old age. Mimi sitawahi waambie eti hawa ati kababu yenyu ako uhai na mtu akitaka kuniambia I want to go see, I will take them there. So whatever the case, divorce or no divorce, separation or no separation, it is not an eraser to the fact that this is the father or the mother of this child. So kama ni mtu anaweza reason pamoja, you reason. Because anyway, me tulikuwa tumeka for quite some time. So it was just like, hi, this is happening, and I need your input in 1, 2, 3. Itakuja. And you acknowledge, yeah, and I respect you for being their father. Without him. So you respect the fact that ni yeye, and talk to him. Akwani mukizaa akukua na nini? It's and you met as adults, so hamjajuana, munajuana sahi. It's you to deal or to handle it in a way that it favors you and your child. And remember, sisi tume so whatever happens, hata kama maybe if they can talk, I'm not sure they're in talking terms right now. I think ni ile time yenye kidonda iko na fresh bleeding. Ile yenye tunaeka. For the sake of this child, ikifika ni children's department, tafadhali, this lady sahi she's yani akili yake inaenda sijui miles ngapi parawa.
Yeah.
Mtu asiingie kwa hiyo brain vulnerable sahi amwambie maneno ya uongo, tafadhali. This is her breaking point. Sahi whatever, she's relying on people to advise her on one thing or another. So tell
as this case is, someone who needs sober minds to guide her. Otherwise, sahi anaweza break ama break. Uongo tafadhali, when it comes to immigration, please, pesa tuko nazo ni sawa, and you can do anything in Kenya with money. But when it comes to children, please, enda mahali, chinjua mbuzi mzima, chomewa vizuri, kulage pole, kula pesa yako. Usiwai tumia pesa yako ikifika ni story za immigration na watoto.
Gladys, akitafuta immigration lawyer atasaidia aje na nini? Jida ni mtoto.
Advice tu atapewa anyway.
Anasema na pengine ako na idea chenye lawyer atasema. Because it's not about the divorce, it's this kid.
It's the child. The bottom line is Lillian, because I've had to ask my US process and the kids and everything. Huwezi ukapita hiyo embassy bila hiyo certificate ya sole custody from the court na bila certificate of no contempt from the court, which says the other parent has absolutely no say in this child's life, and they have confessed as such. That is what my lawyer told me.
Inakuanga in written form.
Yes, it has to be written. Ni certificate inatoka kwa court na inakuanga na notary seal.
So sasa pengine
kuna mtu anauliza
waongea tu wakuja na yeye alafu wakifika.
Kuna mtu anauliza aje, what about somebody who has gotten full custody without the father knowing through the legal court process? Will it be an issue for embassy?
I'm not sure about the US embassy, but if they get wind, akuna ikango for the next available plane, hata hawakuambia hiyo jilipia.
How do they get full custody if the other partner without the support?
Ni hiyo story tumesema hapo ya pesa. Money talks.
It is a shortcut.
Hiyo kitu. Because at some point ataanza kutafuta mtoto, remember, na akijua alienda ataulizwa si wewe ndo ulisign, atasema hapana. Ulitumiwa hii, were you served with any of such? Because the court process and the law is very open. They have records. So they'll go back in record na waone haya. Mimi sikutumiwa hii court order. I did not know about any, because there are hearings. I did not know about any hearings. Mimi wangu alipewa na nilikuwa nimemwambia, akaniambia mimi sina shida because he already moved on and married and everything and settled down, so he didn't have a problem. Ni lazima ataambiwa. So ikifika mahali by bad luck ama witches na wizards watembe. Iliki tu kidogo. My friend, you don't even get the 10 years ban to move around the world. You're banned forever. Kisi inaguza mtoto. Be very careful. I've had such stories. Mtu akisema hata niko na detu, nimelala hapa na bwana yangu kwa hizi radio stations, I think hizi interviews. Hapo hapa nimelala na yeye lakini hajui niko na death certificate yake kwa suitcase.
Nani
huyu mwanaume huyu ni mtu wako enlightened, so anajua everything. Wewe mtengenezea birth certificate.
Si umeona hapo watu wanasema mtafute death certificate hapo kwa comments. Have you seen those comments?
Hata hizi birth certificates watu wanasemanga ati utengeneze birth certificate, exclude the father's name before you apply for documents. Please don't. Please don't. Kitakuramba siku moja.
With the information yenye Anna provider, so the option wako naye akiamua going the legal way, she might make the things lengthy, ama bado atalia, of which sasa anaendelea kulia, ama anze kwenda kienyeji still, hata inaweza mcost the worst. So me I think tu ni achukue handkerchief, apanguze machozi, pande tu ndege wote, atajipanga tu na uko mbele, because by doing so I think ata avoid a lot. But kusema anze the legal way, anze juu mambo na kuenda river road, ataharibu vitu kabisa.
One thing I think anafaa pia kuangalia if anatumia agency, because I've seen kama Avant, if you are single they are very skeptical. Hata wanakwambia tu reason wanakosa like sponsor. So they actually do not advocate for anyone single with a child traveling to the US. And if you guys follow around, mtaona kuna story walikuwa air ya one of the Kenyan nurses who went with it was a 3-month-old baby, and ikawaletea shida sana juu ya child care, and all those hizo vitu zina revolve mtoto. So I think she also has to look on that point. Asitolewe kwa process na alikuwa ashamaliza juu ya mtu. You can travel with somebody, and out here you actually learn to live with someone, and that's it.
Tracy,
Yes.
kuna mtu mwingine anauliza, na kama mtoto wako above 18 years bado anahitaji consent?
No, I think mtoto wa 18, according to the Kenyan law, it's usually very easy. They are able to consent it themselves. Wanaulizangwa, do you want to stay with your mom or your dad? That's a bit easier.
That's straightforward, actually.
Sawa, thanks.
Mi naona tu akuje. Process ya kudivorce mtu Amerika ni haraka sana. Asubuhi mkikunywa chai saa 6 mi naona tu sasa akuje na yeye. Akuje huku, it's easier. They can agree. They can sit down and kuambiane tu vitu tukishafika. Ngoja sasa niwe. Anaweza mtaraka place they can talk about that. That's okay. But wanaweza kuja before, because wakishafika watoto watakuwa wamefika hapa. The divorce will be a US process. Na US watoto wanaprotectiwa sana. So na kutakuwa na hiyo mkono ya kuhongana and all that, which can jeopardize the results and all that, na kuleta the process. For me, I'll be like, afunge tu macho, wakuje na yeye, ama watafute visa, even if they are living separately, even if they have to walk from to the square embassy, they pretend they are together, wakuje tu, atamdivorcea tu, endelea na life.
Good idea.
You don't have to live with it. Just let him know that, hey, you're still moving to the US, if you're still interested, you're still going, but we are processing our divorce and you have to find your way around. Make it clear, just make it known that we are no longer married, but because we are already in this process and we are living and everything, let's just get there. Akifika hapa, yeah, when they separate ways, they don't have to be together. Even now, they don't have to be together, but they can walk from different houses and go to the embassy the same day. Easier.
I think Kemi pia, if you look at people kama wako Kenya, it's a bit hard to explain that to someone, because kama anaingianga lives kama hizi anasikia huo atakuwa deported nini huo si atakubali explanation ka hiyo. I think the simplest way is to just tell them, try and make up with that person. Pata paperwork yako, fika US, do your thing, divorce, that's it. Usimu explainie.
God. I don't want to be that lady.
Unajua ukifika huku US lazima akuwe na reason ya divorce. Ama unaenda tu unaamka unasema divorce.
Au watapata reason, watapata.
Sasa hivi kitaka kupost yangu, niko na list of like 50.
Sangi mnakosananga tu kukosana, so reasons zitakuwa. Alafu pia si akishakuwa huku mkidivorce atawekwa kwa child support pia yeye. So it will help the lady pia.
Atamsaidia kulea
tu messages wanaangalianga.
Na atamsaidia kulea huyo mtoto siku
tatu atakusaidia.
Exactly. I don't think. Na pia sidhani
na salary si yeye.
Na pia si lazima usaidie kulea mtoi. Unaona vile mnamwambia divorce Kenya. See, she's already made up her mind analea mtoto wake. So I don't think money and taking care of her child is a problem.
Sasa ni kuleta mtu mwenye amekuheartbroken, hiyo ndio shida yake.
Yeah, that's a bitter pill to swallow, but there is, you look at the future.
Huyo mse labda hata Amerika ndio inaenda kumfunza adabu. Wacha tu amfikishe huko. Alafu yeye ajitoe tu.
What I usually mean. When I say men will embarrass you, Mungu anafungulia baraka, but men will go ahead and embarrass you on those blessings. That's what I mean, guys.
So from what nimepata nikiweza summarize, mnasema apanguze machozi akuje. Wakuje. Ameweza tu chill akuje afike wafike. This is for the kid.
Yeah. But the time anafika tutakuwa maybe tumemtafutia a way out. Tutakuwa tunafikiria.
Na hata pia wa try reconciliation if it's possible.
She has to swallow the hard pill and bring him
back. But we all swallow a bitter pill and move on.
No, you say.
It depends with what she wants. Unajua wewe ongea mambo ya watu wawili, that's their personal
Skip kibrit hard na shindo kufungua mdomo. Usikie tu. Lakini watu wamejifunika blanketi moja ukiongea chukua position ya kando kidogo.
Position ya kando ongea.
Mbona si position kama nikisije nimalize na nikemi kabisa.
Citizenship na hesitant tribal. These people embarrass you there night. Relax. Sisi ni wa mlima.
Wa mlima wataswala wapita chini wakuja wamaliziane huko.
Lakini nakwambia tuna deforest.
Lakini nakwambia angekuwa ni mlima. Angekuwa na death certificate
nilishangoa nini kabisa.
Death certificate na ni ile death certificate ya ukweli, si ya kwenda kuforge.
Lilian, wacha ni some of us have been in where unaamka asubuhi uko kwako happily married thereafter unaletwa mtoto hapo unaambiwa wewe so and so chukua huyu mtoto sitalea tena sawa nyinyi mnaishi huku maisha poa poa bla 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 chukueni hata huyo mlee
huyo mimi anaenda mbinguni direct. Mimi hata siwezi divorce. Huyo hatuwezi divorce. Kwani nikwenda kabisa ama nikwenda Kisii?
Mimi kuna kitu nililearn
kidogo tu Kisii napata report you need to tunaanzisha mchango.
Kuna kitu nililearn from my grandmother don't give people the luxury of seeing your reaction. So, unachukua mtoto, like, uko sure ni sawa, leta mtoto. Na unaitwa nani? Okay. Sasa before nichukue mtoto, wacha tuende tukareport you have officially given me your child. Akisikia hivyo, anatoka mbio. So, zingine zinakuanga tu ni nini, but anyway, we acknowledge every situation na kila mtu anakuanga na a different way of dealing with it, but me in life I don't give people the luxury of seeing my reaction or overreaction to anything because that's what they want most of the time when they are doing things.
Tracy.
Yes.
Nikuulize swali. There's someone who is asking, niko live on YouTube, anasema zipi mwambie huyo amekuwa UK akaenda USA atuambie kama the difference in salary is worth the move, especially ka usha stabilize in UK.
Well, me I'll say yes, it's worth the move any day, any time. Hakuna comparison. Nishawaambia. UK is a no for me. Siwezi rudi hata na dawa.
Ndio ni visit kwanza usikie hii baridi na angalau ujikumbushe the paranoid weather. Nini? Kuja tu visit basi.
Uko side gani?
Niko Midlands.
Midlands wapi?
Nottingham.
Okay.
Kwa village, kuja nikupeleke shambani.
Huko life ni cheap.
Huko ni sana.
I know, where maybe UK, wacha tu. But UK was very interesting. You make hizo competencies sikuwaifanya.
Yes. Umepata info yenye unaweza ambia huyo mrembo? Mimi nimesikia tu ameze bitter chill, apanguze machozi, akuje na yeye. Huko akifika akipiga kelele kidogo anapiga nduru.
Anakuwa drama queen wa nini wa kweli.
No reconciliation. Kabisa, can you reconcile akakata?
Lilian. Ndio malijoje kitu zamake alifanya ama nani alimwambia?
Hiyo ndio sasa ni hiyo. Unataka tena tufungue another discussion Monshu. Wewe mbona ukuuliza hii at the beginning?
Amenyamaza tu is also a teacher. Anataka kujua. Sasa hapa. Ndio alijua ya hiyo kwa wewe. Yaani umenyamaza
He's asking for me.
Nimekumbuka tu sahi. Nimekumbuka tu sahi.
Wewe hata hivi inaonyesha hiyo cheating. Hivi
Ndio mtu ambaye kasiti saidike.
So, hii yetu wasaidia
ways of closing their own.
But either way Lilian wewe mwambie whatever that anafikiria okay sasa hatujui ana feel yeye ndo anajua tu ana feel but whatever that anaweza kuadvise kama kitu anafikiria it outweighs the benefits ya yeye kwenda na all boys wafike pale alafu ajipange. Hii mambo mengine tu ni siasa asijaribu because ita end up kumfanya even worse than she expected.
I think it's the same house as we speak. Different rooms, same house.
Hapo sikuuliza.
Tracy na Lily na Anita nikuulize swali. I think ni ya mwisho. Zipi uliza kama watoisi wako biologically but umewaeka kaa wako na uko na papers wewe ndio mama yao. Kuna shida?
We adopting me in short.
Hajasema kama ameadopt. Amesema tu kama watoisi wako biologically but umeweka kaa wako na uko na papers. Kuna shida?
You know ni tricky, not unless amewadopt ama wako na baba ya watoto and they have legal documents, I would think.
So if they have the legal documents, that's fine.
Zile documents tunaendea huko River Road, kuja kujulikana, you jeopardize even your own position.
The only way you can have kids who are not biologically yours and your parents is by you adopting.
And then another thing, pale embassy they don't need a permission to ask some information like from the civil departments or whatever. It's just one phone call now and I do everything that unawaambia is it true or false. So when pale na vitu za River Road za Karioko, it's the worst idea that you can ever even think of. Just a one phone call and they know everything they want to know about you.
Background check before they walk.
Yeah. And either way, any day, defending the truth in a rahisi kuliko defending.
Hata kama ulikuwa kuleta watoto wa sisako, let's say you're the caregiver. Sako, like a friend of mine, Sake, alikuwa housewife, the husband akadai, na hiyo ikakuwa ngumu. So she was the only person providing for the two wa sisake. The two children. Yeye ndiye anawafanyia kila kitu sisake ya kwa kibanda, she cannot really afford to do much. Ni nini? When the process started, aliadopt watoto. Kusia hata ndiye amekuwa akiwatake care, aliwadopt legally na sasa atakuja na wao. And then sasa sisake kuna vile atapanga sisake, so watakuja kupatana hapa. Sometimes nikifikiria tu the legal system the right way. Aliwafaidia hata amemaliza kile. Wanakuwa ndio basi yake. Adoption. She was the one providing anyway. Tukakaa chini tukaona hii ndio opportunity nzuri ya kuleta hawa watoto kwa kuwaleta hapa kusoma ni bure, watapata masomo mzuri, then watoto wakubwa 12 and 14 ana watoto wakubwa. So nimefanya hiyo kitu kote, nilimpatia watoto legally na mamake akasani wote.
just dropped.
Tu hapa tu. Yeah, hizi type amalize vitu nataka kusema.
Guys, imekuwa hapa 3 hours. I hope you've learned something. Hata karibu
Umeamua nipande hapa juu. Mimi nimekuleta mbio. Sasa una type hapo na speed yako na
guys, bye.
Princessa. Sasa nilikuwa naambia huyu mwenye then you file for your spouse now watoto si wako under the spouse. Yeah, you don't have to. And then instead of wanasema kama unaweza kuja na watoto wa sister yako na nini, you know we always have that greed of trying to bring the entire village to America. The best thing is for you to come and then ukitaka njia rahisi ya kuleta watoto huku, hii ni kitu watu hawajuangi, most those who are not related to you. Ukiwa active kwa hizi churches za US that go to Africa, wanakuwa na events. Hivyo ndo watu wa Seattle hufanya. Kukiwa na hizo events za music, performance na nini, church events, watoto wana-apply visitors visa as a group. So watoto wako wakishakuja huku, unaweza wakemboisha. But the worst thing itakuwa, when you're a child, unaweza enda shuleni bila any status. So itabidi hao watoto wakae, watafute vile watabadilishwa makaratasi. Watabadilishiwa aje na makaratasi until they become 13, 14 years ama of age. Is an American citizen wawane na wafanye nini, which is a kind of mess. If you really just want them to come over, that is what people in Seattle are doing. Now that you're not the real parent to them, you cannot find enough evidence ya kuambia migration. That becomes a worse thing. So kama uko Kenya, you can still, kama unaweza fika huku na uendelee kukuwa guardian, then you'll go through the court system in Kenya. You get a legit document, you've been a guardian, you produce all the evidence, alafu kutoa faili ya makaratasi. You will not have issues with the embassy. Kama udema anaonyeshana yeye ndiye analipa fee, yeye ndiye ameenda. And it was so easy because amekuwa tu support genuinely like 100%. It should be for a minimum within the Kenyan constitution. It should be within a minimum of 5 years, I think. You need to go and check on the rights of being a guardian from Kenya. Just check on the Kenyan constitution. So haina haja ya pupa, siku nyingi subira uvuta heri, though kuvumilia ni kitu ambacho ni kigumu kwa wanadamu. Yeah, that is the best approach. So keep on being a nini.
Guys, and then mtafute if you're still watching here, go on TikTok and try looking for that guy. I am just tired. I need to go now.
So it's not going to pass. So we can.
So bye bye, guys. Thanks for watching. 3 hours. I need to do something else. Bye.